and welcome back to the Section 10 Podcast, episode 464, presented by Underdog Fantasy. It is the home of your 14-12, third place, dumbass Red Sox. My name is Jared Carabas, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Coley Mick, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. Steve, how you doing?
What up, Section 10 in the building?
In the mother fucking building. Presented by Blue Moon.
Suck one.
Suck one. This team, man, whew. Can I make this analogy, Coley? I can't make it to Steve. I can't make it to Steve because he doesn't have tattoos. You don't, like, you have tattoos, but like, what's the longest that you've sat for a tattoo, Coley?
Probably like 3.5, something like that.
What tattoo was it? How big was it?
It's either the one that's my whole forearm or the one that's on my back.
Okay. So for anyone that has tattoos out there that like has like big tattoos, like big pieces, tattoos hurt. Yes, they do. But a spot that you get tattooed in hour 1 is not going to hurt nearly as much as it hurts in hour 3. It could be the same color, shading, outline, spot on your body, and it hurts 7 times more in hour 3 than it would in hour 1. What's the comparison here to the Boston Red Sox? The comparison is we're in season 3, basically. I'm not counting 2020. I'm not counting 2019. It's 2022, 2023, and now we're in 2024. So things that are happening, like the Red Sox are in 3rd place. You just heard me say it. The Red Sox are in 3rd place. They're not in last place. They're in 3rd place. But things that are happening early in this year are annoying me a lot more in year 3 than I think they would in year 1, 2022. Like 2022, it's like we give them a little bit more time. 2023, like everyone was talking about the vibes. People were talking about the vibes coming into this year too, but I didn't buy into it. I bought into the vibes last year. I bought into that shit last year. This year, they're talking about like if they give out trophies for the vibes. I wish that Alex Cora didn't say that because I knew that this was not going to be a positive vibes year. How could it be? So the things that like when we sit down and watch a Red Sox game in 2024 and you have these dumbass mistakes, you're watching guys go down with injuries, which we'll talk about yet another injury to a big name on this team. You know who it is already. It's not like you're learning this news from us, but we'll react to it. Just like I don't like to hop around when we do the series review and everything, but fucking David Hamilton, fucking David Hamilton. It's like the guy can't even fucking like catch a fucking baseball. Like you're throwing down to second base to throw out a potential base runner, base stealer. The guy can't even catch the fucking ball. Like, what are we doing here? And like, I get it. You're short staffed. Like, you don't have a first baseman. You don't have a second baseman. You don't have a shortstop. You technically don't have a third baseman. Like, your third baseman is now your DH because he can't play third base because he's hurt, but he's not on the injured list. And now your DH is just a fucking guy that sits in the dugout. Like, he's fucking. But what was the guy's name in fucking Home Improvement? The guy that like sits.
Wilson?
Yeah, he's Wilson. He just fucking, you can't see him. You know he's there. You can talk to him, I guess, if you want to. That's like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
His translator's the fence.
Yeah. Like the Red Sox have a winning record. They're 14-12. And I mean, no part of me is excited to watch this team. No part of me sits down with my handy dandy Red Sox game notebook, watching this team with any ounce of enthusiasm or excitement. Like there was an at bat in this game today where I want to say maybe Willier was at the plate because like he's the only like legitimate offensive threat we have besides Rob Refsnyder now. But it was like you know, you had the Jose Ramirez grand slam, so it's 5-0. You're down early. And I'm thinking to myself, as they kind of claw their way back, and I think Willier was up, and it's like, it was something like if he hit a home run, then they would have tied the game or like gone ahead by 1. And I was thinking to myself, if he does this right now, do I even care? Like, do I even, like, what's my reaction? Do I go, woo? Like, do I get excited for it? I don't know. I'm not sure what my reaction, like, I think I would have been pissed. I don't know. It's just such a weird feeling to not be excited about this team as it was intended to be constructed. And then what it's been stripped down to, what, 3.5 weeks into the season? Like, we've got this fucking AAA roster. They've taken all my happiness and excitement from me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like, where are you at in terms of like, can your dicks get hard for this team right now?
Call it.
It's like before the season, the things that my cock was thrilled about was like Tristan
watching Casas, watching Bayo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Brian Bayo dead.
Story defense.
Duran gets me chubbed up for sure.
Willier gets me fucking like.
Well, no, Willier for sure. I mean,
I'm fluffy for Willier.
He just set a record for like most go ahead RBIs, like the most fake stat I've ever seen in my life.
I've never seen it ever, but it's a sick stat.
Several. Well, you know it's fake because he broke it like 2 games ago, and they didn't even realize it until he like really broke it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are like first inning RBI, like not a real stat. But Willier's been great. Again, catching everything in the air, not always easy. I don't know what was going on with the wind today, but he will catch it.
Oh, he'll catch it.
And then the rest of the team, Devers has been great offensively since he came back.
Yeah.
Can't say anything about that. They've killed Masataka Yoshida, I think. I don't know where he is.
He's
There's
touring
nothing,
the city.
Yeah,
like everyone
it was a
knows,
new city.
I'm a big, Cleveland does have a lot of attractions, so maybe that explains why
he was at
wasn't
the
playing.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame day 1.
100%.
The whole time, I think.
Yeah.
He was so pissed when they were like, we need you for a pinch hit. It's like, I'm looking at a Michael Jackson glove right now. I don't know what the hell you want me to do with this.
Hauk's been cool. You know what I mean?
Cutter.
The rest of the team, it's a lot of soft cock.
A lot of soft cock on this team.
I'm not like Jared. I get where you're at, but I'd be lying if I said I was furious like overall.
I'm not furious. I'm not furious. I'm demoralized. I'm defeated.
Disheartened.
I'm defeated when the games aren't happening. Like, I'm defeated at 1 p.m. when the notification comes in that Bayo's going to the 15-day IL. It's like, we can't afford this. Obviously, the Casas one's brutal. It starts with the Story injury. But the thing that sucks is that they're still not, like, they should be worse. They're 14-12.
They should be way worse.
That's a better record than both teams that were in the World Series last year. So it's surprising that the record doesn't really line up with what we're watching, but I still can't go through all these games and be like, oh my God, like, I'm so let down by this, that, and the third when this is the roster that's out there. Like I mentioned, I think it was a couple shows ago, I'm definitely along for the ride with this team. You just want to be along for the ride with the team that maybe is missing a couple of dudes, right? Maybe, all right, this guy's going to be back in a few weeks.
I want my balls tickled a little bit. Like, I want the idea that maybe I can buy into this team. But it's like, I get that every team has their injuries. It's going to happen. It's happening to us. But the injuries that are happening to us are like, this guy may not live. Like, he is... Like, we're not getting like Blake Snell just went on the injured list for the Giants, and they're thinking like, all right, I'm hoping 2 weeks, right? We lose Trevor Story for the season. Like, Tristan Casas, that doesn't look good. Like, Alex Cora, like we said on the last episode, he's talking about him like he may not survive this. And you have Brian Bayo, like maybe that's the one where he's on for the designated amount of days and then he comes off when he's eligible. Maybe. But Pivetta, he went on opening day. We're already past the allotted time or the minimum time that he could be on the injured list.
He's probably still not back for 2 more weeks. So
we're not even getting like we're getting unlucky with guys getting hurt, but we're not even like getting lucky with like, all right, yeah, this sucked. Like who else was it? I guess O'Neal. He came back when he was eligible, which was nice.
But only for 1 game.
Yeah, they're still working him back into the line.
Sorry.
Like he sat in the finale because he's still getting worked back in. So
sure, but
Devers
that's less
is
of
the
like
same
an
thing.
injury thing and a more like, hey, Ref Snyder is now hitting righties, which is awesome, and he's playing good defense, and he's hitting everybody. Duran, you need the defense, and he was. I mean, now we're seeing Rafael in the leadoff spot, but Duran was your leadoff hitter, and fucking Willier's the best player in the league outside of Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, it does feel like the amount of injuries the Red Sox have had is the amount that the whole division should have by now, not like just one team. They've represented the entire AL East with the amount of injuries they've had. So when you get the roster they have, especially for the finale and some of these other lineups that haven't looked that appealing the last couple of weeks, I get most furious, you already alluded to it, when someone like David Hamilton just can't do the simple stuff. Like Reese is throwing you the ball. It's not like the throws were crazy. They're like right there.
Oh my God. The second one was right on the fucking money.
Directly to him and just completely missed it. And it's like, dude, what is going on here? I could have sworn it looked like he missed the bag again on a double play. And I think the ump might have just missed it. But this guy, it's constant, man. Missing the base, bobbling the ball, throwing it all over the place. They had an easy double play that he made look so difficult, and they don't even get the double play. Coley, you mentioned that. Where it's like they can't get guys at first.
Can't turn it.
They can't. It's not even like turning. Like getting outs at first is so hard. The Pablo throw.
Impossible.
I was like, I can't believe they completed this. Bobby, I trust Bobby more than anybody in the infield. He
Bobby
makes
is
the right
like the
play
third
every
best player
time
on the team.
He seriously is.
I don't want to hear another fucking word about Bobby Dahlbeck in a negative manner. He's the third best player on the team.
It's to the point I wish
Maybe
you could have a designated fielder. I wish he was our DF. Then we just have him out there, and I'm like, he's going to dominate constantly.
Why would he be our DF? He's getting on base left and right. He's walking.
Bob's hot.
He took a 3-ball walk today. He had another hit,
and he roped it, 20 feet to the left. He is getting on base.
Then why does he need to designated field, Steve? If he's isn't that someone that can't hit? Like Bob's hitting. He's getting on base.
Bob's hitting.
Mm-hmm. OBP up. Batting average up.
BOB. OBP.
Yep. Yep. Like name a better player than Bob besides Willier. That's it. I'm giving you Willier Abreu. That's it. Who else?
Duran.
Not right now.
Duran's going through it right now.
Duran's punching all left and right.
That double play turn today was as good as anything anyone's done this year for this team.
He had an RBI, which was nice, so he actually got a hit there, but he's been going through it.
Not better than Bob.
He did. I mean, well, listen, we've talked about Yoshida hitting everything on the ground. Duran, they need to stop. I don't know if they've ever spoken. Either they need to start talking or completely stop looking at each other because those guys hate hitting the ball in the air. Hate it.
It's not great.
And Yoshida today, he comes in, he draws like a 5-pitch walk. This fucking dickhead behind home plate's like, I'm going to call this a strike. And then he has to swing at the next pitch. Like that would have been, not that the Red Sox are fucking unbelievable with the bases loaded, as we've seen time and time again. What was the last time they had a season like this recently where they would just, was it 22 maybe? Where they would constantly load the bases and never push anyone home.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing the same shit this year.
Yeah.
It's infuriating. And like Reese, you said it in the group chat, Steve. Reese, those throws might not have been horrible. The reason Jose Ramirez hit that grand slam is because he didn't catch the fucking ball.
Catch the ball.
My God.
Catch the ball.
That was Reese. So bad. And didn't you know it when it happened, too? The second he doesn't catch the foul tip, I'm like, this ball's going to get smoked. This isn't just going to be like a line drive that gets through the infield. He's going to rip it. Jose Ramirez does that every time.
You got to point to first after that. Just put him on. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, do the Barry Bonds, just walk in a run. Who the hell cares? Like, Ramirez had 5 of the 9 RBIs the Guardians had in this whole series. And it was on 2 swings, 2 homers. So, that was bad. I had someone in the replies being like, oh, well, you can't blame him. Like, he didn't expect it to get foul tipped. That ball's right there. Up. That ball's right there.
Of course, that's literally the job. Your job is catcher.
Yeah.
What's the name of the position, dude? What's the name of the position? They don't call it the behind home plater. They call it the catcher.
That position would suck. That would be a tough name. Like in the behind home plater tonight, Reese McGuire, you got to catch that ball. Like I yelled when he didn't catch it because you knew what was coming up next. That sucked.
All right.
I also don't know why we pulled Chase Anderson. What the fuck's his name?
Yep.
That's close enough.
Yeah.
Yep.
What actually is it? I don't know.
I think
his
that's
name.
it. I don't.
That's his
Yeah, okay,
name.
that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know why we pulled him after that. Like, what the fuck else was going to happen?
That was
Like, he
traditional
fine.
baseball. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's,
I know.
like-
Just leave him in. Who gives a fuck?
Like back in like the 90s, it would just be like, oh, this guy gave up a grand slam. He's out. Like, you got to take him out of the game.
Yeah.
This guy sucks. Gave up a grand slam. That's 4 runs.
Might be the
You're
worst
gone.
pitcher ever. That's like the
Yeah, I mean,
worst
like-
thing you can do.
That at bat, like he basically struck him out. Like there's
He
He
did.
definitely struck him out.
He did.
He struck out. He was pitching fine, I guess. I don't know. For
When we
a
watch
TBD
these
start.
games, our baseball like viewing instincts kick in. When he didn't catch that, my brain immediately computed like everyone else is catching that ball. Like everybody else catches that. It's a direct into your glove foul tip. He drops it, and then that's the thing that killed me with Reese today. He had this like I don't give a damn like body language. He drops the ball that Martin threw to him, and that lets a run in. Obviously, Chris should be covering the plate there, but he shouldn't
Both
even
of
miss.
them.
They both messed up, but it's like Reese had I didn't a really
Reese is
bad
like
game.
looking at, and when that happened, he's like looking back at Jose Ramirez, who's like already, it was like Duran, that opening series.
Yeah.
Like he was already basically touching home. And he's like no pep in his step at all.
None.
I crossed the street faster than those two fuckheads on that play. Like there was not even fake hustle. Chris Martin's 1,000 years old. That's somewhat of an excuse, but he didn't even consider covering home.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, we're jumping ahead here.
That's
'Cause
fine. It was a tough finale.
Tough finale, tough series. This is like, when we play the Pittsburgh Pirates and we sweep the Pittsburgh Pirates and people want to get excited. I'm like, we know what they look like against good teams. We're about to play another good team. It's, This is
Still,
what
This should have been,
Hmm.
I won't say they should have swept, but this should have been 2 out of 3.
I think you should win today. Like I can't overemphasize.
They should have
that
won
Reese
today.
drop. That shouldn't be a grand
Yeah.
slam. You should be out of that inning.
should be out of that. The Grand Slam never should have happened. Plenty of opportunity. Again, we're not jumping ahead.
No,
Plenty of opportunities, runners in scoring
Should've
position.
won today.
And even like the at bats, were the runners in scoring position. It was garbage, pathetic. Even was the word that I used. Okay, game 1 of the series. Welcome back, Tyler O'Neill. First inning, had a base hit. Welcome back, Tyler O'Neill. It's good to see him back. Which is weird. It feels like he's been back. Like this doesn't feel like the series that he returned in, but it was.
Sure was.
he's been in the dugout, right? So
Yeah, he's
been hanging out.
We got a pitcher's duel here, folks. This was the Tanner Houck start.
Yeah.
Where I didn't have it in the notes, but I wanted to write down, like, after he had completed, he probably had about like 84, 85-ish pitches after he finished
After
6. And I
Yep.
kind of wanted to call it a day right there. But then,
Yep.
like, coming off his last outing where he threw a complete game shutout, it would have sounded stupid to be like, all right, 85 pitches in 6 innings. Like, that's it. It's like, well, no, like, the dude's running a scoreless inning streak right now. You got to let it run. There's something about it was just a vibe. Like, I'm not going to act like some fucking baseball genius and say that but I did feel that way. Like, I wanted
No,
to call
you gotta
it 6.
pull him.
Yeah.
I think even more so coming off the complete game. That's the longest outing of his career. Why try and push it again? And I know we were talking about this the other night when we were together. It was like we knew it was a bullpen game 2. But in my mind, when you have a bullpen game, you've already kind of conceded that one.
Mhm.
Like you've already given the other team an advantage. If this were a 2-3 run game, I think Cora probably pulls him there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because then it's like, all right, this is an actual win. When you're only up 1-0, I don't know that you can manage it the same.
Yeah. The question needs to be asked: is Willie Abreu the best able-bodied player on the team? And I say able-bodied.
You're saying power ranking style, right? Like right now.
I'm saying, like, out of everyone on the team that has a fully functioning body, is he the best player on the team?
The fact this is a question is tough because we were all ready to send him to Worcester like 2 weeks ago.
It's him or Wong, right? Like that's
Yeah,
those are the
Connor Wong
options.
should be in
Yeah,
the
but-
discussion.
He should be, but he's also not like the primary catcher. It's like there's
No, but his body is able,
his body's
Yeah.
able, definitely able.
which is huge.
Mhm.
Oh, and also Connor Wong, for a guy who lines up in every position, which is a disgrace unto itself, not his disgrace, the team's disgrace.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him go out to the wrong position yet, which Willie
Oh
did
my
do
God.
today.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just fucking around. It was him and Durant. It's Durant's fault. He's the one that's dumb.
No, it was him and
Ref Snyder.
Snyder.
It was Ref
That's
Snyder.
what I expect Willie Ippei to go to the wrong spot. Rob Ref
Why?
Snyder. Come on.
Why?
He just I don't trust his.
He's Wilger.
Yeah, he's a little
Also,
goofy. He's a little goofy. I got no problem.
Who gives who on the team was like, no, they got to switch. Like, we're fine conceding a ball one. Like, they
yeah,
got to
why?
switch.
I was thinking that. Why couldn't they
leave him alone?
Is it because it's written in the lineup that way? Like, can't you just be like, well, no, we're changing it. They're just like flopping. If they stayed, would that have not been a violation? I don't know.
Definitely not a violation.
If they just stayed in their spots instead of switching, like,
I mean, if the umpires don't notice, who cares?
yeah, just sneak one by.
They never would.
They would never notice. Yeah, someone snitched.
I also don't think that's illegal.
I just don't know if you have it written down in your lineup that this guy's playing left and then he's out there and right. That seems like a baseball thing where it's like, oh, that's...
But what's like the competitive advantage?
There's none.
You know what I
There's
mean?
none.
Like that's
oh, we got the Guardians. We wrote down left field, but he's playing right. Like, this is huge for us.
Like when we called Rafaela in to do that 5-man infield a couple weeks ago, did we have to like?
Yeah, true. You got to write that on the card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if we wrote it down,
we got to
gotta
get
hold it up
from the city.
yeah. Like dig safe has to come out.
Time.
Yeah.
We got to go to the mayor's office to get this approved.
Cora's in the dugout talking to the mayor.
Yeah.
Like, is it good if
He's
we
like,
put
what do you mean,
Rafael
no?
up the middle there?
Yeah, we're going with 5 guys in the infield. That's good, right? Okay. Yep, 2 in the outfield. Okay.
Apparently, Rob Ref Snyder is an everyday player. This is he was 3 for 3 by the 7th inning, and again, he's hitting righties. He's playing good defense. It's good to have options. You know, what sucks about this team is they have a ton of good options in the outfield. They have no infielders.
No.
There's no like, oh, Story's down, but we can put fucking so-and-so, Jeffrey Duck Sauce, can play shortstop.
He's not ready, but he can once he gets up.
Oh, he's got a great glove.
Mm.
Doesn't matter if Duck Sauce doesn't hit, doesn't matter because you know he's gonna pick it, get going in that hole there.
He'd be here for his glove easily.
Yeah.
Rafael has been a good shortstop. I don't think he's been elite yet, but I think
he's made some
good.
very good
but
plays.
The team would be significantly better if they had a regular, average to decent defensive shortstop, and Rafaela was able to stay in center field. It would be a better team.
Yeah, they're moving their catcher around to like every infield position.
A lot of problems on this team get fixed if Jose Iglesias is here. That's all I'm
telling you.
Been saying that for like 3 years.
Team needs Jose Iglesias bad.
Wish I was kidding.
Yeah, round 3. Has there ever been a player in Red Sox? There has to be. Rich Hill, right? Player that has 3 different tenures with the Red Sox.
Did he have 3?
I thought it was 2.
Had to be.
Well, I mean, if we sign Jackie, which could happen any day, that would be 3.
That would be 3. I think Rich Hill had
Jared's right. It's 3. It's 3.
3.
Oh,
3 stints with the Red Sox. About to be 4.
We didn't have any relievers.
Rich Hill has 4 stints with the team.
Back.
Is
Rich
that
Hill,
a record for anybody? Has anyone ever had 4 separate stints with a team? It's crazy.
Maybe.
Maybe Bartolo. I don't know. Stuck around.
Jamie Moyer.
Yeah.
6 shut for Houck. Call it a night. Not so good in the 7th. Double, single, stolen base, and a walk. That made it 1-1. He ends up going 6+, 91 pitches, 5 hits, 2 earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Still has a 1.65 ERA. Pretty damn good for Tanner Houck, a guy that a lot of us were saying, you know, you got to add starters so that you can push Whitlock and Houck into the bullpen. Houck has been outstanding in the rotation this year. He's been going deep, obviously coming off a complete game shutout. And if, again, it's revisionist history, but if you just ended his night at 6 innings, then he's been on a hell of a run. Like, I'm happy with 6 innings from Houck. Like, Houck's not the guy I'm looking at being like, we fucking need you to pitch into the 7th inning. Like, that's Bayo for me.
6 I'm taking. In modern baseball, I'm taking 6 from anybody.
Anybody. Yeah.
Like Bayo, like, is it nice if a guy can go 7 now and then? Sure, but I don't think that's the standard by any means.
Nah.
That can't be 5 every time out.
Only guy I ever expected 7 innings from is Josh Beckett. I mean, obviously Pedro, but
7 feels like the
Pedro.
new shutout. If you go 7, it's like, wow, dude, that's very impressive.
Yeah. Like Pedro, you'd expect 8 or 9.
Right. Yeah. Pedro, Clemens, guys like that was 8.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We are now joined
You guys are fucking idiots.
by Jeffrey Paisan. He's the guy that everyone's been talking about for the last week now.
Jared. He's a main
Hey, hey, I'm raking leaves over here.
This is the dumbest bit, and it's beautiful. It's just so stupid, and it's great. Like,
I mean,
and
you
it
have
all
a-
started. It all started because Jared's answer was so bad. Like, if you had just gone "ow" instead of "oh," then it would have been completely different.
Right.
But you fucked it up.
No, I didn't because it's probably going to be in the
That's fair.
pantheon of bits now.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
like
fair.
Jeffrey
That's fair.
Paisan being a guy that is just going to it's going to live on forever. People are going to be talking about it 10 years from now because of that response. You have dark hair, Jeffrey. Do you have Italian heritage? You must.
No, all Jew all the way.
None.
And the hair, by the way, to be clear,
Yeah.
hair color, completely natural. Honest to God,
I've
on my
never
children.
questioned that.
The
I've
hair
never questioned-
itself, PEDs.
Yeah.
But the hair color, not at all. I don't understand how I haven't started graying yet.
Yeah.
Like between kids, marriage, job, I should look like Roger
Trees.
Sterling right
Yeah.
now.
Trees.
Yeah, trees.
There's trees everywhere. They could get you at any point.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Hold on. I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to open a window and I'm going to show you guys
Be
what
careful.
my neighborhood looks like.
Be careful.
Just so you can.
Oh, I thought he was
just
going to
so
show
you
us
can
the
see.
spot.
Oh, yeah, it's out there.
Just a tree with a
This
bunch
is
of
the
bullet
tree
holes
that
in it.
got
He got his
me.
revenge.
He's just been shooting the
Got
thing.
me right
Yeah.
there. And
There
you
he
can
is.
see like the whole neighborhood is just like foliage.
Trees.
Wow.
Tree City.
Yes.
Yeah.
There are
That's
trees
intimidating.
absolutely everywhere.
Do you look at trees like if you were to like walk down a dark alley and you just see a bunch of like scary guys? Like when you look at trees, do you feel the same way? Like you're being intimidated?
I don't think about it. How can you live that way? Like it would be a miserable way to live. If a tree takes me out,
Mm-hmm.
it would be hilarious.
Well, it
Like
was.
objective-
I mean, it happened.
Yeah, we left
No,
one-
a tree tried to take me
Right,
out and
right.
it failed.
Yeah.
Missed
I'm
a
saying,
shot.
I'm saying, if my ultimate, like, if
Yeah.
I get struck by lightning twice, there is something objectively funny about this. And by the way, you guys are genuinely terrible people because
Yeah.
you have no idea how I'm actually doing right now.
No,
Like
I do.
could still,
I do.
Did Steve?
I mean, you seem to be doing well. What are you doing
Oh,
poorly?
you seem to be. Oh, that's good. Oh, it's great to go on. You seem to be. Coley has
How
no
bad
idea
could you
about
be
fucking
doing right
anything.
now? How bad
Yeah.
you look good.
Yeah.
How bad could you be doing?
Yeah. Well, he is sitting down.
I'm actually doing fine, which
There
is
you
why
go.
I can laugh about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
No.
didn't know, did you?
It was off the PMT clip that I saw where you broke it all down, and I was like, oh, okay, Jeff seems to be like able to talk about this. Because if it was a sour subject, then we probably wouldn't have brought it up.
No, I would have.
Oh, you would have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
would.
100% would
Yeah.
have. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like let's remember what we're doing here
Right.
and who we are.
Yeah. We're
Know
That's true.
thyself, Mr. Peralt.
Yeah.
Well, one thing real quick, Jeff. So that tree is right outside your window. Are you looking at that thing every day? Is it just you guys having a staring contest of like, I remember what you did to me?
No, we had, afterward we had some questionable branches taken off of it.
Some seedy
And-
characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
some sus
And,
branches, as we say.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it gets hot in Kansas in the summer. And so it provides really nice shade. Like there's some utility to that tree because we thought like we're going to take the whole damn thing down. And just as, we should have,
Mhm.
frankly, but the shade is so nice. It's
Mm.
worth it. And,
Hey,
and
we
we
still
were
got some
worried
good
that
use for this guy. We can still get
Yeah.
something out of it.
Oh.
Don't put him down. He's a good guy. He means well.
He
Hey,
crossed the family once. We know he won't do it again. Capiche?
No need to whack the guy. Come on.
let's not get crazy here.
So it was a branch?
No, have you seen? You put out a picture, didn't you? It was a fucking massive piece of tree.
Yes, it was a branch that is the size of a normal tree.
Okay.
I mean, can I text you a photo of it so you stop questioning me?
Yeah, I want
It's
to
a
know.
big fucking piece of tree.
I'm questioning the authenticity of this. This feels like he's faking.
Oh, okay. Okay, now.
He might have
Hold
been
on a
faking this
second.
whole thing.
I need you to recant that. I need an in the moment recanting of that right now.
Well,
because we can't continue this if you're questioning the authenticity.
I need to see the size. So text me the picture of the tree, and I'll tell you if it was.
No, you know what? I'm not going to text you the picture of the tree. I'm not, because I don't need to validate my broken back to you, you prick.
Did you?
You're gonna
No. We're not moving on from this until you acknowledge.
All right. It was a big tree. I've seen the tree. You've showed me the tree before.
I did.
Yeah, I've seen the tree because we talked about grinding it up into baseball bats and selling them for charity, which I still think would be a great idea.
That's an awesome.
I still have a piece of the tree in question in the front yard. It's just been sitting there out all winter. So
yeah,
still trying to find someone to haul it to the bat company.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, like, I'm sure that there's bat companies that are within earshot of the Kansas City region.
Not many.
You'd be surprised. People like making bats. Yeah.
People make bats.
People make bats all over the place, Jeff.
But do people like hauling like 600-pound pieces of wood?
I feel like that's what they do, right? That's you can't make a bat without hauling that wood.
Well, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Move on, you fucking prick.
Hey. We're talking about as you would imagine, Jeff. We're talking about the Sox right now. What do you think? What do you think about the local 9?
Is that how much they're being paid this year? Just 9
yeah, well,
votes.
less than that.
Yeah,
what, like the lineup the other day was what was it?
$7 million lineup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like seriously.
So it's like an entire lineup for a utility man.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what? That I'll say this. That portends pretty well for the future if you've got a bunch of young guys, because you can have breakage there. You can have guys who don't pan out.
Oh, they're breaking.
But if you got any of them who do, though, you're in a good position. And let's walk through some of these younger guys,
please.
And I'm curious who you think are absolute contributers for this team going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Casas.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's a made guy.
Yeah, he's a made guy.
Yeah, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Duran.
He is
one way to.
He is he's a guy. He's like
he might join the military. He's already threatening fleeing the country.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not what is it, a capo? He's not. Yeah, he's not.
Capo?
He's not. Yeah, no.
Mm-mm.
You're really gonna stretch this, aren't you? Rafaela, just because of the money he is, but do you think he's gonna be a contributor?
Defensively.
Yeah, I don't know that he's gonna hit. He chases too much.
Willier.
Yes. He's actually I've declared he is my favorite player on the team. Still don't know how to correctly say his name, but sometimes there's a J in there. It's sometimes it's Wilger, sometimes it's Willier.
Regardless of what it is, he's so much fun to watch hit.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little like Pablo Sandoval thing, and not like Red Sox Pablo Sandoval, not Red Sox Pablo Sandoval. He's got like a Giants Pablo Sandoval where there's bat to ball, where he goes to all fields, where he's got some power. Pablo Sandoval is a curse word in Boston, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, specifically here. He's Venezuelan Trot Nixon to me.
I don't know that Trot Nixon was like the hitter that Willier could be.
Jeff. Let me pull up Let me learn you
No.
some Trot
Trot
Nixon right now.
don't get me wrong. Trot Nixon was a good player. He was a very good player at points, but I just think the bat to ball.
Trot Nixon, 1999, from 1999 through 2005. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons. I don't see an OPS below 800 here, Jeff. 880, 830, 881, 808, 975, 887, 804.
Yeah.
From his age 25 to 31 seasons. That's pretty good. I mean,
listen, I wasn't saying that he's not good. He was a very good player.
Do you think Willier's better than this?
No, I'm not going to say he's better than that. What I will say is I think it's a different skill set. And I think the spraying to all fields, but the power to the pull side is better than Trot Nixon had. Trot Nixon was never a big home run guy. I think Abreu can turn into that.
27, 24, 28. That 3-year stretch there where you had about 25-ish.
Yeah. I mean, how old is Willier?
24, I think.
He's 24.
Yeah. I think so.
Like, didn't make it to the big, like make it to full time in the big leagues till he was 25 or 26, right?
25, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he is part of this team going forward. I agree with you on that. Beyond that, though, is Connor Wong in there?
See, the thing, Jeff.
Am I going to make you guys say something nice about Connor Wong?
We love Connor Wong. The Connor Wong dong. It's double dongs last night. But it's just every time that I see his face, I'm reminded about the Mookie Betts trade.
I know. That's the point.
Yeah, I don't.
Can Sox fans ever truly love Connor Wong?
No.
No. Yeah, I don't think so.
But it's also the front office is parading around these 3 guys who are in Portland right now, and one of them's a catcher. So how much can I even love him when they're telling me there's a better guy coming
soon?
Yeah, you know what though? How many catchers play 120 plus games a year in the big leagues anymore? Like it's the one position where if you have some depth, then I think it's a reasonable thing to say you can have 2 guys who are there who are being productive and both of them actually can contribute.
Yeah, definitely. And it's lefty and it's a righty, so they can definitely coexist together. And from this season, Connor Wong's going to be able to say he's played all 9 positions.
Yeah. It's the fill-in first baseman.
Yeah, he's basically our second baseman and our first baseman and our catcher as well.
Yes. The Boston Red Sox, everybody.
Hey.
And that's it.
Hey.
I mean,
how do you not get excited about this team?
No, I'll say this. The pitching's better than I thought it was going to be. Cutter Crawford has been awesome so far. I think there's obviously there's going to be regression when you give up 60% fly balls and none of them go over the fence and you pitch at Fenway Park. Like that is going to even itself out. But Tanner Houck, I think he's finally looking like the guy that Sox fans hoped he would be. And, before he got hurt, Whitlock was looking the same way. And Pavetta, we saw flashes of this last year. And a guy like Slayton coming out and doing what he's done so far has been like the pitching's been very promising. And, to go out and not just be holding their own in the American League East, but to be in the mix and to be at the end of April and ahead right now of the Blue Jays and ahead of the Rays in the standings, that and with a positive run differential at that has to have exceeded your guys' expectations.
It feels impossible. It like I'm watching it and I look at the standings. I'm like, nope, that's wrong. I don't believe it. They don't play smart baseball. They have great starting pitching. The offense is, I don't want to say it's streaky. Like even today, I think they out-hit Cleveland. They had a season high 16 hits yesterday. So it's like they can hit a little bit, but with all their big bats going down, like I don't expect them to be good.
He freezes.
I don't expect the offense to be good.
Hold on. Is
What?
What's wrong with you?
What do you mean?
Does your internet connection suck?
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Are you in a literal brick room, or is that fake brick?
Real brick, brother.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of moron puts a studio in a brick room?
I put the brick in here. It's not the
He's
brick's
frozen
fault.
again. He's got this little smirk
God.
on his face.
It's not the brick's fault, Jeff. It's not the brick's fault.
It's like
No.
you stumped them there.
What was the question? I didn't even
What's
hear you.
brutal, if you knew
Exactly.
how much he was paying for this dog shit internet, it would even make you laugh harder. Like, he's paying top dollar for no internet.
Yeah, I got no internet. It's the town. Like, from what I've heard, the town just has shit internet.
And there's no workaround?
I mean, I paid like fucking like $2,500 to get these like Wi-Fi extenders, and it is what it is, Jeff. You know?
Yeah. All right. Good to know.
I try.
Well, would you like to ask another question that I can actually hear?
I don't know that I asked you a question. I think I was commenting on my baseball team, but I do have a question for you, because I am curious. As you're talking about watching the Boston Red Sox, first of all, why would you do that? Second of all, I've never asked you about your baseball viewing experience as Jeff Passan. Like, how do you? Because out here I got 9 TVs. What does your setup look like? Like, how are you consuming all this baseball?
I do not have like a 9 TV setup at all.
What do you do?
I'm a flipper. I have to model good behavior for my kids. And the standard I have in this house, in order to avoid turning them into like dopamine freaks, who are always chasing that next hit through a device, is we have a 1 screen limit. So I have 1 TV, and I will occasionally look on my phone to see something else interesting is going on, and I'll flip in between games that way. But I don't want to show them that this insane ability to watch like 8 things at once is normal, because it's not. Like, I want to teach them like focusing on one thing, and attention span is something that in this era where we have this thing that is trying to suck out all of our time of the day, using these like subversively addictive properties that they have, that you do not need to fall prey to that.
But don't they understand who you are? Like, it's kind of like being like Michael Jordan's kid. It's like, yeah, dad's not at dinner tonight because he's playing the Lakers tonight. Like,
yeah, but
their dad is Jeff Passan. Like, he's going to be watching baseball.
I know, but they're old enough now and smart enough where they'll call me out for hypocrisy. And the last thing that you can do as a father is be a hypocrite, because everything you're trying to teach them,
Jeff,
if you don't...
That's the best part about being a dad, is lying to your kids and being a hypocrite. It's like, there is a different set of rules. You are my children. I get to make this is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship. I make the rules and I don't have to follow them, and you do. That's the best part about being a dad.
Correct, but if you say that too many times, all of a sudden it starts falling on deaf ears. You have to save your bullets for when they actually count. And in this case, if my baseball... Did you just raise your hand, Steve? Like someone's going to procreate with you?
No,
this is not a thing for you.
No, this is confused. That's what we do in the show. Sorry, Jeff. Continue. My bad.
Oh, it's okay.
That's a next step thing.
We have a hand-raising system on the podcast.
No, it's not even that good. It's not even that good.
Passing 96 to the ribs.
Yep, Jeff, continue.
Yeah, try to breathe after that one.
No. The truth is, and Jared, you're seeing this. Like, parenting's really hard.
I know,
it's really, really hard, and I may be doing it entirely wrong, and I'm not going to know for years. We're not going to know until God forbid.
They're formed, like they're humans. They have personalities and morals now, and but you have to just be like you're too humble about this, Jeff. That's the problem. Like I obviously have my 9 TV setup, but if my kids were ever like, Dad, why can't we have 9 TVs? Because you're not the fucking GOAT. Like, that's why. Like, if you got to earn 9 TVs, you got to earn that shit. If Jeff Passan's like, oh, like, Dad, like, why can't we watch baseball all night long? It's like, well, because you're not the literal best at what you do in your industry. When you achieve that, you're motivating them. When you achieve greatness like Jeff Paisan, then you get all the perks of being the GOAT. That's
no, you know what I have though? You know what I have? The worst part, like aside from the pain and the rehab and stuff like that, the worst part of getting hit by the tree was that it broke the L1 vertebra and it was a compression fracture, right? And part of a compression fracture is it like takes this sort of rectangular vertebra and like squeezes it down, and it squeezes it down to about half its size, and that does not grow back. So I am technically a half inch shorter than I was before. And my older son, he's a tall kid. And he's like 6'1". And what he will now, I know.
How? Where's that coming from?
From everything good comes from his mom's side. Like,
got it.
You know that. And so he will walk up to me and he will look down.
Oh no.
Oh, that's tough.
And he will say 5'9", and it just ends any conversation. Just stops right there. And I could listen. There have been moments where there's been like questioning of things, and I can and will say to him, you could go live on your own. Like that's the ultimate dad move, but I don't do that all the time. I don't, because he has to understand that the threat right there, even though it's not likely, there's enough of a chance that if it were to happen, if he were to call my bluff, then I would be in deep shit and I'd have to come back groveling. He doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So you know what? If he wants the little victories of talking about his physical superiority to me, I'll grant that. It's true. Throws a baseball very hard, hits a baseball very hard. He's talented like that. Like he's worked hard at it. I respect that. I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, they know who's boss. And I do not need 9 TVs to tell them that.
It's a great, I mean, yeah, whatever works in your house, Jeff. I mean, the fact that your son is 6'1",
it's wild.
Yeah.
Might not be mine. Doesn't matter. It's okay.
Yeah. It's like a Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio situation going on.
Well, what is it? The son surpassing the father?
Well, Dominic Mysterio, like Rey Mysterio's got to be 5'5", and Dom is probably.
I thought you meant because Dominic is awesome, which he is.
He is awesome, but he's
the best.
He doesn't look like he came from Rey. Genetically.
Yeah, I mean his like the evolution, but the thing that Ray and I have in common is that we're both short and both of our kids have mullets.
Yeah.
And,
your kid has a mullet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's in right now. The youth are doing that.
Base like ball players especially, like the mullet crowd right now is baseball players age 14 to 18.
Okay.
and even if you don't have the hair for a mullet, like they go full mullet. Like you want to have some flow coming out of the back of the helmet. That's an important thing. Like taking off your helmet after an AB, throwing your hair back like that. Like it's a real thing.
Yeah. I could say I couldn't pull that off myself, but I wish I could. I'm assuming that it's Sunday Night Baseball is Cubs Red Sox this weekend. Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay. Do you travel, Jeff? Like what's your travel schedule look like?
Yeah, Sunday Night Baseball is Cubs Red Sox, by the way. So thank you for that. I was more tuned into the Astros Rockies game that's gonna be going on in Mexico City, because that's like Baseball Tonight's on a little bit early this week because of that. And that's the game that I knew about.
Got it.
Do I travel? No, not a whole lot, like for games anymore.
Is that back related?
No, it's like we have a lot of good people who do baseball, and they get their assignments, and I'm sticking in my wheelhouse. Like,
Good for you.
you know, if there's ever a point where they want me to be on the sidelines, I love doing that. If there's ever a point where they would put me in the booth, I would love to do that. But I am very happy doing what I do right now. And it's, you know, the writing stuff is still really fun to me.
Yeah.
It's like, it's I never, ever expected, desired, any of the TV stuff. That was just never in the cards for me. Like, I grew up in a house where my father worked at a newspaper for 42 years. That is what I thought I was going to do. I figured I was going to be at a newspaper forever. And then the media industry changed, but the writing part it's still the same. You know, it's the same principles. It's the same idea. I go about it the same way, and I get to still tell really cool stories and, you know, hopefully, like, turn on a generation of people who don't, generally speaking, read, to the idea that, you know, looking at something for more than a minute or two or 15 seconds or however, you know, long things are that get consumed now is something that's worth your time and energy. And that's like, I take that as not just a challenge, but a duty. Like, the written word, especially in baseball, I think still matters. And I think it is still the best sport to write about.
Yeah. Well, we talked about this, like how, I mean, I also started as a writer, and I don't write at all anymore. And having the conversation about how, you know, there's not a lot of, I guess, like, not that I would call you a content creator, but you do create content. Like, your title is a little bit more prestigious and professional than content creator, but in the content creation space,
I have never looked at myself like, I don't look at what I do as content. I know it's consumable, but I feel like the word content, the word content is a very democratic word, and what I do, it's a more learned thing, right? Like, writing feature stories, like I don't know if you read what I wrote on Corey Seager probably a week ago or so now, or some of the more in-depth pieces that I do. You know, I'm working on something on pitching arms right now, and like, it's going to be long, it's going to be in-depth, I'm going to talk with a lot of people, it's going to take time. I feel like content creation is a very urgent and in the moment thing. And, you know, a story that's longer and more in depth, it takes, you know, weeks, months sometimes to do it the right way, but it has to be done the right way, because to me, the content industry, it's like flash paper. Like, doing something that really sticks in the content industry and that you remember years down the road, I don't know that that's the goal. The goal that I have with some of the stories that I'm writing is that when you look back at this era of baseball that I covered, I want to tell the story of baseball in this era through these stories. And for you, and for people who are curious about the history of the game, like, that to me, much more than any of the breaking news stuff, is important. I understand, like, the economy of content and the way that the internet and social media work. It values the breaking news stuff above all else, and that's great. I've adapted to that, you know, at first against my will. Now I really appreciate that, because I appreciate how it connects me with people, and how I am part of some of the best moments of people's lives. Like, that is so cool that people remember where they were when they got a notification from me and that I made them feel a particular way. That is such a huge responsibility and something that I adore about the job. But, like, longer term, I want to make sure that this era of baseball has been covered in a way where when people go and look back and ask what was baseball in the 2000s and 2010s and 2020s like, that they can look at the stories I wrote and say, okay, I get it better now, because we have that from the 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000. Like, we have it through people who came before me, and whether it's Peter Gammons or Tim Kirkjian or Jason Stark, or going back, further, Roger Angel or Jim Murray, or the people who are winning the BBWA Lifetime Achievement Award, early on. Like, these are people who I read and who made me smarter about the game. And I can only hope that people who are baseball fans and reporters in the future see me the same way.
I want to ask something real quick on top of that. And don't be humble here. Like, be as honest as you can with this. I think we all think you're the guy. You're like the baseball reporter guy, like top dog guy. Does it feel like that to you at this point? Do you feel like because we wait for your tweet. It's like, Passan hasn't tweeted it, so I don't know if this is reliable yet. Does it feel like you're at the top of the mountain in your space?
No. I see.
I need to say no.
I know you're asking me to be humble, but I'm just telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I think even if I am there, I will never see myself there, because I think the second that you see yourself as the best at anything, there's a chance that you get complacent, and I don't want to do that. There always needs to be, I'm the dog at the track. I need a rabbit. Even if I'm in first place, I need something to chase. And Ken, like everything Ken Rosenthal does, is exceptional. He's a really good writer. He's a dogged reporter. He is extremely sourced. He is ethical. He is intelligent. He is a good husband and father. He is like the person that you aspire to be in this job. So to me, like, because I say dumb, funny things on social media, do people see me in a particular way? Maybe. Like, I don't know why. I appreciate that, but I don't. I just have to, I can't put like this. I can't put this expectation for myself out there and have that be the only thing, right?
Yep.
There needs to be more than that. I'm certainly not the most competitive person in this job. Like, I work with people at ESPN who are more competitive than I do, who take losses worse, who crave wins more. I will not allow myself to do that, because it would ruin other parts of my life. Like, I'm just not built that way. I can't take losses badly, because it will bring me down. And I can't get too high on wins, because, dickheads do that. And so,
it sounds like you do have a bit of content creation brain, because while I agree with what you're saying, I think a lot of it's disposable. I do think the similarity is you're always looking forward to the next thing, that you haven't lost that. It's like, all right, yeah, that's done. What's next? Not that yours is disposable, but you just described it as like, yeah, I'm always looking forward to the next thing I can do.
Yeah, for sure. But that's ingrained in me, I think, through newspapers.
Sure.
Like,
sure.
When you work at a daily newspaper, you take pride in what you put out that day, but you cannot forget about the next day and the day after, and planning ahead. And like the ESPN baseball team is like, we have good people, really good people working there. Alden Gonzalez is really good at his job. Jorge Castillo is really good at his job. Jesse Rogers is really good at his job. Kirkjian, Buster have been doing this forever. Brad Doolittle and Dave Schoenfield. Like, there are a lot of excellent writers on our staff. And, we have phenomenal editors who take all of this stuff, because our job, right? Our job is every day on ESPN.com's baseball page to be writing about something that people want to read about. And if they don't want to read about it, it's our job to convince them to read about it. And we convince them by having the best information and telling the best stories. And if you're not looking ahead, if you're not planning, if you're not always trying to figure out how to get that out there, then you're worthless. Like, the news business is about what's now. And what I love about this job is as much as we think we know what's going on now, we have no idea what's next. Do you think I ever thought I was going to be writing about Bad Bunny getting booted from the MLBPA for allegedly being a dirty agent? And like, I mean, there's all sorts of crazy things that happen all the time. And it's why this is year 21 for me doing this. I've been doing this a long time.
That's crazy.
And I am not tired of it, and I am not bored by it. And I have a rad job.
You talk about the buildup for some of these stories. How much of an old school baseball story was the Ippei scandal, and how quickly did you know about that before the general public did? Like, was there a couple day lead up, or was that like, no, we got breaking news, stop the presses type scenario where you just got to writing?
I heard about it months before it happened. This took a while to come together, and I made a run at it. You know, I started talking with people about it, trying to figure it out and get some leads, and I did not get anywhere with it. And so, you know, Tisha Thompson comes in, and she's badass. And, you know, she has sources where I don't. She knows reporting techniques and tactics that I don't. And I learn from every time I work with her on a story, and we've worked on a few together. I learn from her. And I did not know that any story was coming. I had heard like a week before that there was somebody else that the LA Times was working on something. But in terms of going to print, only like that day did I find out. I mean, on a story like that, it's a really small circle.
Right.
And it should be, because it's enormous news and because it's very sensitive reporting. And, you know, the second something like that starts leaking around, if that even gets onto the internet, like, by an account with 20 followers, you know, that thing's going to get passed around like crazy. And all of a sudden the holy shit of the reporting, and like, it was the ultimate holy shit story. That gets blunted, you know, snitches get stitches.
That's crazy that even happened, whether you take it at face value or not, which I'm assuming, like, have you provided like your concrete opinion on like the legitimacy of the reporting and everything?
No, I'm not going to provide a concrete opinion, because I don't think that my opinion matters in this situation. What I will say, though, is this: if the story that has been told is not true, then it would require a conspiracy that would involve Shohei Ohtani, Ippei Mitsuhara, his agent, his accountant, his bankers, the Department of Homeland Security, the IRS, the FBI, and everyone else, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Los Angeles Angels, all coming together in service of making Shohei Ohtani look clean. If you're telling me you believe that federal investigators, whose careers, by the way, would be made much more by going after Ohtani, one of the biggest sports stars in the world, than they would going after his translator. If you're telling me that they are going to put at risk their careers for lying, concocting, and fabricating a story to make a fall guy out of Ippei Mitsuhara, because what do they owe Shohei Ohtani? Because what? Like, it takes a lot to believe that this 37-page complaint that was rendered by a federal official and led to the charges that it did. It takes a lot to believe that all of the details in there, which actually, like, if you read through every page of it, they kind of line up and they kind of make sense. And you can have your questions. How did Shohei not know? I mean, the answer is because human beings are really good at hiding things that embarrass them. How did he take all of this money without Shohei knowing? Because Shohei Ohtani is like super rich, and money, like when you get that rich and you're not a consumer of things, he's not someone who's going around buying cars, jewelry, houses, like all the stuff that the super rich tend to do. That's not what he's focused on. That's not his MO. So how does he not know? Because money was always just going to be there for him. And because all the things that he cared about, Ippei took care of. Right? So there is an explanation to me for everything that the conspiracy folks say. There is no explanation for them about this being a reality other than, but it's a cover-up. And so when you put those two things together, listen, I'm going to forever be just a little bit skeptical and a little bit cynical about it, because I feel like that's a reporter's job.
Sure.
When something comes together so tidily and so quickly and so neatly, it's like, is this too good to be true? But when you look at all of those things, you can understand how it might.
I think where the conspiracies even started, though, was like, I think it was your piece. Ohtani's lawyers were kind of already backtracking the initial statement. So I think when that happens immediately, that's all the grease the wheel needs. And I agree with you. After reading all the everything, it does line up pretty nicely. But I also don't think it's just a Shohei thing. I think if this were true, you're talking about billions of dollars, the freshly turned on faucet of the gambling industry, and it kills MLB's credibility permanently. Like they've survived a lot of self-inflicted scandals to this point, barely. I don't know that this one they would survive.
Oh, I think if they can survive the Astros, if they can survive a World Series. No, I'm serious. If they can survive a World Series champion that was cheating, like we love the game too much. That's what it comes down to. We love the game too much for something like that to ruin it. And I understand that the most important thing is the credibility of the game, right?
Sure.
But hasn't the credibility of the game been attacked already by the fact that a team that didn't need to cheat was cheating and ended up winning a championship because of it?
I do think there's a difference between cheating trying to win and cheating intentionally trying to throw games potentially.
Totally agree with you on that, and that's fair. But Shohei Ohtani's won like 2 MVPs.
Sure, yeah, no, 100%. So, the funniest part was people going back and being like, man, he really sucked against the Tigers, and I know the Tigers suck. Like, all sorts of people were just catching all these straights. That was the best part.
It's like, yeah, he might have sucked against the Tigers. You know why?
It's baseball.
Baseball's hard.
Yeah, it's baseball.
Yeah.
Like, baseball is extraordinarily hard, and the fact that he's as good at it as he is speaks to the caliber of player that we're seeing here.
I think Jeff's explanation about why a conspiracy doesn't necessarily make sense has inadvertently convinced me of the moon landing being real, because I was really on the fence about that.
That was the next question we had too. Yeah, about the moon.
There's too many people involved that would have to be covering that up for the moon landing. We would have found out by now. What are your thoughts on the moon landing, Jeff?
Yeah, I think the moon landing was real. Listen, maybe I need to get red pilled. Maybe I'm just taking.
Nope.
No. Here's my point. Like, the blue pill's been great to me, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has led me to places and allowed me to see things that never in my wildest imagination I would have believed. So if you want to tell me that there's something out there like that's going on in this world, and that we're just cogs in a machine, that I don't know if you guys have seen 3 Body Problem at all on Netflix, but it's a good show. Good show. There's without, you know what? I'm not going to spoil it, but if you guys do watch it, the idea of we are all bugs is like, you know what? I'm okay being a bug.
Yeah, why not?
I'm kind of cool with it, actually.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That doesn't bother me at all. Also, I don't want it to be lost on anyone, because I don't know that the names show up on the YouTube version. But Jeff Passan entered the chat here with megaphone balls as his nameplate.
That was just me trying to avoid the Jeff Paisaning that
exactly.
I
No, I know what you're doing because you also,
Yeah.
and a lot of things have happened, but I keep it right here. You mentioned that you stayed in the family business. Your father was a newspaperman. His father was a newspaperman. You're a newspaperman. That's a very Italian thing to do, to stay in the family business.
Convenient.
So I'm not letting that slide either.
his father was a dentist, actually. So
That's
it's
what they
only
all
two
say.
It's only two. I was gonna say after they broke the guy's teeth on the curb, he went and fixed him up.
Right.
That's the street name, the dentist. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jeff. We don't want to.
Well, real quick, this man made almost an obscene call today that I do want you to hit here because I know it's been viral today. You said Ellie's going 30-80?
I said that like 2 weeks ago.
Well, it went viral today, pal. That's where I live. That's the internet I operate on.
We were asked. Hold on a second. My computer's a piece of crap and it's about to die. So let me plug it in.
Uh-oh.
Ah, jeez.
Just gotta go talk some trash to that tree. I'm looking at you.
Hey.
Come on, son of a bitch. All right.
Hey.
So we, in like the second week of the season every year, our editors come to us and say, give us your best hot take after like the first 2 weeks of the season.
You must hate that.
I despise it.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it so much. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
You know I hate that because I know a lot about the game and I still know nothing.
Sure.
That's deep.
Theo taught me that a long time ago. Like a long time ago. I remember Theo, like early on in my career, and I appreciate this much more now than I did back then. Early on in my career, like Theo just really didn't give me the time of day. And he didn't because I hadn't earned it. Right? Like I was super young. I started doing this when I was 23. And when you're 23, you're an idiot. And I didn't realize I was an idiot. I was like, I can write really well. I didn't understand relationships. I didn't understand the value of them. I didn't understand how much time you have to put in and how important it is to care about people, not about the information, but about human beings, who they are, what's important to them. Invest in them and they will invest in you, right? But I would just like call Theo up and just ask him questions. And so he was, like, I don't blame him. He was treating me the way that I warranted being treated. But even in that time, he said, like, when it comes down to it, we don't know shit. And if Theo Epstein is saying that, what does that say about everyone else? And so this notion that in the middle of April, I'm going to come up with something that by the end of the season is going to come to fruition. I just wanted to embrace, frankly, I wanted to be the Carolina Reaper. And I thought to myself, okay, what's something that could potentially happen that in 150 words, I could write something like kind of interesting about with context that people might not know. And I went and looked back and like the last time someone stole 80 bases, it's been a long time. Been a long, long time. It was like Vince Coleman and Ricky Henderson,
right?
Like 30 years ago. Like Jose Reyes was the closest to it. So I was like, you know what? Ellie's running. He might be the fastest guy in baseball. Cincinnati, especially without Noelvi Marte in the lineup, without Matt McClain in the lineup, David Bell is an aggressive manager. I think they're going to let him cook, and he's going to get green light when he wants it. So it was like the 80 there, that was going to be my thing. But I'm like, hold on a second. Acuna went 40-70. Could Ellie go 30-80? And I was like, you know what? Send it. Like, just go. Just go with it. You know what? Because here's the thing. If it's wrong, it was a ridiculous idea to begin with. But if it's right. And right now, like, a couple of weeks later, do I think he's going to get 30-80? No. I don't. But I
Eli.
think he's probably as close to anyone as we've seen in a while to making it happen, especially over a full season, especially with the improvements that he's made in his game. Like his swing decisions lately have been off the charts good. And, Ellie De La Cruz, when he is at his best, is like a top 10 player in baseball. He's not consistent enough to merit that yet. He's kind of like this year, I think, where Bobby Witt Jr. was last year, where like you see these flashes and it's just immense talent and like the spectacular kind of talent that brings you out to the ballpark just to see the guy. And we've seen that leap forward from Bobby Witt this year. I think he is one of the 10 best players in baseball now.
One quick one, Jeff, before we wrap. Do you think there's any way the Sox stay out of 5th place again this year?
Yeah, I could see the Rays. They're not as good this year. I still think they're better at the end of the day than the Sox, but I think with an injury or two, that can change things. They've still got just the farm system, like the near farm system for the Rays, I think is better because the Sox haven't really shown any great inclination to rush Anthony or Meyer or Teal. I think we'll see him probably at some point this year. I do wonder if it's going to be like a Corbin Carroll situation where they bring him up in September to see if they're ready to, start on opening day next year and get that draft pick. Because that, if you get 3 shots in 1 year, if you're the Sox, you have a pretty good feeling about getting that extra draft pick by taking all 3 guys who are going to be top 100 players and putting them on the opening day roster. Then again, if you do that, you're committing yourself to starting 3 rookies, which it's not the easiest thing to do, especially in a year where you could be coming off 5th place.
Again,
Toronto is Toronto is a Kevin Gausman or Jose Barrios injury away from being in real trouble in that rotation. But the Yankees, no, they're good. And the Orioles, I think there's a real argument to be made that the Orioles is the second best team in baseball. Like we've all had Atlanta and the Dodgers up at the top from the beginning. Baltimore is a juggernaut, and they're going to be for a long time. And if you are a Boston Red Sox fan, you should be scared of them because
we are.
It is. I don't know if this is going out on a limb at all. I've been covering this game for 21 years now. The Orioles' collection of young talents is the best that I've seen.
It's crazy.
It is better than the Astros that won the championship in 2017, and part of which was around to win it again a few years later. It is better than the Cubs core that won in 2016. Like it's the best group that I've seen because it doesn't seem like any of them are missing. Adley Rutschman is a star. Gunnar Henderson is a star.
Cowser.
Yeah, Jackson Holiday started off poorly. Just wait. He's going to be really, really good. Colton Cowser looks awesome. Heston Kjerstad is good.
He's
Grayson Rodriguez has been phenomenal.
Basayo coming up in 3 years.
Yeah, he'll be up sooner than that.
Well, that's even more hard. Well, he's like 18. Just calm down.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I want you to investigate. That's really what I need you to investigate. The Orioles seem to have 35 roster spots. Every day they're calling up. Every day it's a new guy coming up that's like the 21st ranked player in baseball. And I've had enough of it. I don't know what's going on, why they're allowing this, but it's every day.
The thing is, you have, generally speaking, with prospects, you have attrition rate. Guys don't pan out. And look, maybe it'll be Cowser, maybe it'll be Kjerstad, maybe it'll be Westberg. It's not going to be Adley, it's not going to be Gunnar, and I really don't think it's going to be Holiday. And maybe it's none of them. Maybe it's Kobe Mayo, but he's awesome too. Like he's ridiculous. It's just like when you have a system in place that can find the talent, draft them, develop them, and then deploy them at the right time to bring out the best in them. That is a machine that's almost impossible to compete with.
You get the 2018 Red Sox.
Yeah. And the only thing I think that will get in the way of the Orioles being dynastic is that it's baseball, man. And that all it takes is 3 bad games in early October. Done. And we've seen it happen to the Braves.
Saw it happen to the Orioles last year.
The Orioles literally last year, yeah.
And by the way, the Braves young core, I love what the Braves have done. Acuna and Riley and Harris and Albies.
Yeah. The good Oakland Athletics.
Yeah. I mean, the Braves have done brilliantly. I will still take the Orioles group of position players long term over what the Braves did, and that's not I feel like Freeman was a little bit different generation.
Definitely.
From like the Acuna Albies Riley group, which is pretty like you might have multiple Hall of Famers on that team.
Yeah. Even just hearing you talk about it and being like, if you're a Red Sox fan, you should be afraid of the Orioles. I'm not afraid of the Orioles because I don't think that the Red Sox are going to contend during the time where the Orioles are at the top of the division. Like, you have to be.
Well, that might be problematic, Rocket, because they're going to be doing this for a while.
That's what I'm saying. Well, the Red Sox are not
already like 30. I don't want to hear anymore. He's already he's already an old man. I don't want to hear it with Adley Rutschman. The fact that they have a 19-year-old catcher that's also going to play first as well, that I have no answer for.
Yeah, I can't look at the Orioles and be like, man, I'm really afraid of them, because I don't think that the Red Sox are in a position to be in the same stratosphere as them. Like, we're not, it's not an arms race. Like, I see what the Orioles are doing, but like, we're not doing that. Like, hard to be afraid.
Just wait until their billionaire takes over.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's really the problem.
Suddenly they have an owner who not only like cares a lot, but is going to be willing to spend money.
Yeah.
And that's more than the Red Sox can say right now,
Correct.
which is it's still bonkers to me.
It's hopeless.
It still is. I can't fathom the frustration that Red Sox fans have right now, because you guys had it so good for so long. You had a 15-year run that the only thing I can compare it to is how I feel as a Chiefs fan right now. It's like everything. You came into a season, all of those years, even if it didn't seem like the same team, you came in with hope. And you came in with hope because it had been built up over time. It's like, it's like sports fandom is a bank. And if your organization is doing the right thing, it's making deposits into that fan bank every year. And some of those years where it might be a little bit different, where they don't have as good of a record, where luck's not on their side, it's like, as a fan, you take a withdrawal from the bank. They're like, okay, you know what? They have so much goodwill built up that a down year, a bad year, it's okay. It's fine. I don't think the Red Sox understood when their bank account was getting low. And I don't think they reacted to that appropriately. And that's why they're in the position that they are right now. There was a chance to rescue this. There was. And all it would take is money. Mm-hmm. I understand that money might not make this team better, but money at very least would keep the fans on your side that you're trying to do something. And instead, they've bankrupted themselves right now with the fans. And it's going to take winning in a division where coming by winning is not an easy thing to do, and won't be an easy thing to do for a long time.
At least in the 1920s, they got a shitty play out of selling the best player in baseball. We didn't even get that. We got Connor Wong.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's terrible.
It's a great way to end it.
Yeah. Thank you for the hope and optimism.
I love. You know what? You know what? I actually after the shit you pulled earlier, questioning the size of the tree, I'm glad you're depressed. And I'm glad your internet sucks.
Wow.
And I hope you start losing your hair.
That's locked in.
Wow. That was the meanest of the three things.
Jeff.
I mean, come on.
First of all, how dare you? Second of all, that shit's not going anywhere. Yeah, you know what? You know what, Jeff?
Suspend him.
You know what, Jeff?
Oh, wow.
Suspension music for Jeff.
Never thought we'd see this day.
That was insane.
Suspension music for Jeff. That was insane.
He's probably like, what the hell's going on right now?
Jeff doesn't realize he's been suspended. He can speak.
I think the internet just... Yeah, no.
Come at my internet. Come at my baseball team. Don't you ever come at my
we see you talking. You've been muted. You're suspended.
Yeah.
You just got tossed.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell
No,
you.
here's you know what the funny thing is. I actually wasn't talking there. I was just kind of mouthing it. I was just trying to trick you. And if I'm suspended, why am I able to talk right now?
Well, because
the music ended.
Yeah, the music stuff.
That was a good way to sign off.
Yeah. Well, the MLB season is in full swing, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting.
Yeah,
Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball or mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Make sure that you listening right now, you sign up with promo code Jared. That is JARED, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That is Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared.
Boom.
Guardians 4, Red Sox 1.
Jeff Paisan. That's the first time we've officially had him on the show that wasn't holding the phone up to the mic.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that's correct. Yeah. Yeah, it makes a lot of good points about the moon landing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Ton. I didn't think it was going to be like a retrospective on the modern era of content and how important writing is. And he's right. I mean, I'm glad he's not here to hear this. I've been reading him since he was on Yahoo. I know that's not where he started, but that's where he became national, and he was running shit there.
Where the fuck was he before Yahoo? I thought like Yahoo was definitely his.
No, I think he worked at a newspaper before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Dickhead Sports?
Yeah, dickheadsports.net. You never know. Credit to Passan, because when he gives you an answer, it then just starts going somewhere.
Yeah,
and you don't know where it's going to go, but it's always somewhere that's very well thought out. And it's like, oh, that's a great answer. That wasn't even the question, but good answer.
He's a legitimately good storyteller. So I'm glad.
Oh, big time.
Like there's so many there's a newsbreaker for every sport. He's it for baseball, obviously. And then there's underlings like Steve was alluding to. He is the top of that mountain. But like the NFL guys, we know how competitive they are about it. The NBA guys, it's so blatant how competitive they are about it. Him just being like, yeah, I get the scoops, I tweet them out, but I don't give a fuck is great. Like it has to be great for his mentality.
You can tell how he approaches tweeting. Like he's not flooding your feed. He's tweeting when it matters. You have so many of these guys. I mean, Heyman's one of the top guys that does this, where it's like, dude, like this isn't. There's no way this is going to happen.
Same thing over and over and over again. And I love Rosenthal, but I might have to shut his notifications off. If anyone listening has his notifications on, all it is him retweeting foul territory. Like he doesn't even like report shit. He doesn't like tweet shit anymore. It's literally just like Ken Rosenthal reposted foul territory like that. So when he's trying to credit Rosenthal as like the top dog right now, it's like, well, is he?
This is bad, but when he mentioned Ken, I didn't immediately flick to Rosenthal. I was like, who's he? Oh, right, Ken Rosenthal. And that should show you the difference between him and Passan right now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine being so good where you're just universally recognized as the GOAT, and then you're just like, yeah, I don't even really try that hard, dude. I'm just like...
It's not even close, too. Who's second? I guess it probably is Rosenthal, but I don't think it's even that close.
Yeah, I mean, Rosenthal's, like, foul territory is like his, right? Like, he owns that.
I think he's definitely got to be an investor, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where it's like...
I mean, the amount he's tweeting about.
He's been doing it for so long, obviously. I get where Passan's coming from, even though I don't necessarily believe him, but Rosenthal's in the mix. And then what?
Yeah,
Bowden, who's like the big athletic guy?
I don't know.
Heyman. I mean, no, Rosenthal is the athletic still, right?
Boris, he's a Pat Light. You went froze.
Rosenthal is the athletic.
Okay, so yeah, it's definitely Rosenthal then.
Yeah, but he like doesn't report anything anymore.
He does the off-season notebooks. He's more of an off-season guy. I don't think of him as an in-season guy. You're right about that.
I gotta say, when he's putting some of this foul territory stuff out, it's all none of the takes are like different than what anyone else is saying either.
No.
Like when Jeff talks, I'm like, oh, that's a good point. He has a bunch of, oh, good point, kid. Like Jeff has a ton of those. So when he talks, I listen. When he's on ESPN, if he's with SVP, any of those guys, just flooded with good points. And he's not just repeating what everyone else is saying.
Second game of the series here. Bayo to the IL. Lat. Nobody has it worse than us. Welcome back, Rafi. It's a knock in the first. Abreu is him. RBI double, 1-0 Sox. Connor Wong, Dong Gong. It's 2-0 in the second. Rafi looks healthy. Homer, 3-0 in the fifth. Abreu is still him. 3 for 3. Another glorious Connor Wong, Dong Gong. 4-0 in the sixth. Rafael is getting hot. RBI knock. Advances to second on the throw. 5-0 Sox. Rafi bloop ground rule double. RBI. 6-0 Sox in the sixth. Bob's on fire. Single in the eighth. Cooper Criswell, 5 innings, 72 pitches, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Very quietly down to a 2.38 ERA, Cooper Criswell. Dude was start of the season in AAA. Everyone mocked this poor son of a bitch because he was paid $1 million to sign with the Red Sox, and everyone was like, all offseason, we kept talking about how we need pitching, we need to spend money and full throttle and yada, yada. We spent $1 million on Cooper Criswell. Well, guess what? Cooper Criswell is helping out the ball club. He's helping out the team.
Yeah, 5 shot. I'll take it.
4 hits for Willier. 4 hits for Connor Wong. 8-0 Sox in the ninth. And that's your ball game. 8-0. Season high 16 hits, as we mentioned. Red Sox improved to 14-11, third place. We were out last night, but Scully.
That's what I was gonna say. And I know Jay Hay's been talking about this on Baseball is Dead. Jay Hay is an outsider. We're all from Boston, you know what I mean? Like sitting in a place where you can literally touch Fenway Park. Like you don't have to leave to be touching a wall that shares a wall with, like, it's the same wall. That wall of Fenway Park, that wall, same wall. Mm-hmm. To be able to do that and not watch the Red Sox is outrageous. Genuinely outrageous.
At 2 bars.
I don't care what year it is. Like, you can't do that.
2 bars.
2 bars. Yes, thank you. 2. Both of them.
2 bars. We're not going to name any names, but 2 bars. One of them may be attached to Fenway, and the other one that you could like spit outside the window and reach Fenway.
And
2 bars.
Our waitress was nice, but when she ever came back to the table and was like, I got bad news, I'm like, there's no possible way on these 20 TVs they can't turn one of them to the Red Sox game. Yep, that was the answer. They're scheduled to go to Bruins Celtics, so we can't play the Red Sox. The literal only reason we were at those bars is to watch the Red Sox. Of course, having the other games on would be nice, but crazy. Crazy.
Never get over that.
No, you were texting about it today. You were still heated about it.
Well, because the team is bad. Like the with the injuries, with the offseason being what it was, with the last 2 years being last place finishes, there's just so much negative energy surrounding the Boston Red Sox. And when I'm not going to say it's my whole life anymore, but it's still the biggest piece of my life, I think, the Boston Red Sox. When it's just years and years of negativity and I don't know, it's just, I think if we went to like the North End and they didn't have the Red Sox on, I'd be like, all right, fine. Like this is not like a sports area. It's Jeff Paisan territory.
He runs that street. Yep.
But when you go to not 1, but 2 bar restaurants that are as close to Fenway Park as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
You can easily throw a ball into Fenway from both places.
Yeah, and like the concept of the Red Sox game being on is just like a foreign concept. Like, what do you mean you want the Red Sox on? That's
right.
I don't know how much disheartening material I can take, you know?
Also, Tyler, who's not here today, but I showed him the wreckage, the remains of Jared's ice cream, and he has called for a suspension of Jared.
Who did?
Tyler Milliken.
Oh, all right. Yep. This is for Tyler. You don't get to fucking say who's suspended or not suspended. You do not get to suggest. No.
I'm just forwarding the message.
Yeah, well, he's suspended on a podcast he's not even on. So
fine. Listen, I'm not saying what's right, what's wrong here.
Section 10 suspension Twitter. Please count this as a suspension towards Tyler. Mute his mic.
Suspended, he's not even here.
Yep. Coley will suggest he'll do this and he'll suggest a suspension. I did that today while driving. There was
get him out of here.
Yeah, this is more for YouTube, I guess. But all right, so there's the right side of the road, the left side of the road, and then I'm going to try to describe this for the podcast listeners as well. But kind of like a T, like the main street is the top of the T, and I'm going up to the top of the T, and this car is coming down, and he comes down the way that I'm coming up, and then cuts across in front of me so that he can continue to go the way that he was already going. And a cop was driving by, and I just look at the cop, and I'm just like, get him out of here.
Get him out.
You gotta pull this guy over. He's suspended. You can't do that. You can't just cut across a lane of traffic and make that turn. So, suspension for Tyler, please, as we move on to game number 3, the final game, today's game of the Cleveland Guardians series. April 25th, the 26th game of the season for the Boston Red Sox. First line here says, I have no reason to believe Masataka Yoshida is alive. This is 4 straight games that he's out of the lineup? Someone said 3. I believe it's 4.
I thought it was 4 too.
The last game of the Pittsburgh series, because he was doing the walking tour of the city.
Right,
and then, he didn't start in any of the...
He got 0 starts in this series.
0 starts. Not to gloss over the Brian Bayo injury, because that was the first line. I mean, we kind of just, I don't want to say glossed over the...
It's not much. We're all pissed. We hate it. It sucks.
Bad.
Yeah, hate it. Second line here says, I actually can't stand this team. That was the Jose Ramirez grand slam to make it 5-0 in the second inning. And we touched on this. We already talked about this. The second that Reese McGuire drops that ball, it's going to be a grand slam. There's been 2 grand slams where we knew that both of them are coming almost immediately. Something happened leading up to the grand slam. It wasn't just oh man, a base hit and he works a walk and stolen base and got hit by bad things happened before both grand slams to where there was not even the slightest surprise. And the pitchers that were on the mound, it was kind of this makes complete sense why this would happen as well.
And the lead into the J-Ram one, you walk the bases loaded to face Jose Ramirez. It's a big dumb. It's a big dumb. Can't really have that. And then the biggest dumb of the day was Reese McGuire not catching that foul tip.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It's brutal.
It was really dumb. Nipples for triples. Rob Ref Snyder, RBI triple. 5-0 Cleveland. 5-1 Cleveland in the third. So many pathetic at-bats with runners in scoring position. Next line. I don't know how we're in this game. Duran RBI base hit to make it 5-4 Guardians in the 6th. As I'm watching this game, I mentally had already given up on this game after the grand slam. I was like, well, this is an obvious loss. And I look up and it's 5-4 here in the 6th. And it's a confusing process to me. See?
Didn't they have one of these at Fenway a week ago where it was almost the same exact score and they made it a 1-run game and none of us thought there was a chance they were going to win the game? Yeah, it was one of these slowly... No, they lost. It was one of these slowly creep back into it. They're down 1, kind of feels like they're down 3 or 4. You knew in the finale they weren't going to get the big swing. They had plenty of chances. to get the big swing. Rafael, a tough game at the plate. I know he had a decent game too, but it sucks. Like it almost was just a waste of time that they even got back into it. And then when Clase comes in, I'm like, I feel like this guy's closed out every game against the Red Sox all season. We've seen him so much already. I know they don't get the Guardians again, but it's like every ninth inning, I swear he pitches for every team we've faced. It's ridiculous.
No. And he's disgusting.
You're just not going to beat him. The game's over.
I have zero use for David Hamilton. Dude sucks.
It's so bad.
That was in the 6th inning. The next line, David Hamilton continues to be useless. I can't remember what the first thing he did was. With that was also like he missed the throw at second base.
He missed multiple throws at second base. And then he didn't complete a pretty normal double play.
Yep. I mean, he seems like a super nice guy. Like that's going to be the difference of like Section 10 this year compared to years past is like, I don't know anyone on this team. I don't talk to anyone on this team. So I'm just going to tell you like it is. And with David Hamilton, he seems like a really nice guy, but my God, is he fucking bad at baseball.
This stinks.
The fact that when he was playing second, he tried to go behind the back, and I understand that's the only way he could even attempt that throw, but the fact that crosses his mind when he doesn't have the absolute basics, not even close to covered. The fact that he's trying that shit is why I'm still in on him. Like, that's so insane.
Dude, wasn't it crazy? On the broadcast, Will's going, and obviously he's got to do that. That's the only thing he can do there. To your point, Coley, I'm like, how does he even think to do this? This guy can't throw a normal ball to first base. He's like, all right, we're going behind the back. What are you talking about? You're going behind the back. It was crazy. I thought I saw it wrong, and they showed the replay. I'm like, no, he just threw that behind his back. What the hell?
Behind the back. We either got him or we've got fucking Valdez doing barrel rolls, like also still throwing it. Like we've got the most insane. I think Catillo, someone today had it that Vaughn should be coming next week or this weekend, maybe.
I think it's not this weekend, but next week.
Yeah, it's during the home stretch. Though.
Okay. So I missed this in the first game. This was in the 8th inning of the first game. Florial, RBI double, and Valdez just fucking held the ball.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I forget whoever fielded it in the outfield. They threw it into Valdez, and he, like, the runner, like, he would have had the runner out at home plate by 6 fucking feet or miles.
Maybe. Like, let's see. He also could have thrown. No, I'm saying with his throw, he also could have thrown it into the stands. Like I don't know that we can just chalk up.
By the time, assume anything with Valdez. You can.
By
assume
the time
nothing.
Valdez received the baseball in shallow right field, the runner hadn't even touched third base yet. Still scored.
Sure.
Between him and Hamilton, the instincts in the field have never been worse. Maybe of any second baseman and shortstop in baseball history. The instincts are awful.
Awful.
Yeah. Okay. The Reese just flipped the ball to nobody. 6-4.
That actually was kind of funny. It's like, what's even the point, dude? There's nobody there. No one's
What was that? A wild
that.
Pitch by Chris Martin?
No, it was a pass ball. He drops a pretty normal ball.
And then
tosses it to a ghost.
So if I remember the play correctly, which I think I do, they had first and third. The guy on first was trying to steal second. And he kind of like tried to snap up. I don't know if he was even going to throw. He's probably going to pump. But he tried to do that too quickly and ended up just dropping the fucking ball.
Yeah, they ran every time on him, and it worked. I think he threw one guy out, but it worked every other time.
Wait, are you trying to say that Reese didn't try to feed the ball to a person that wasn't there at home plate?
No,
he did. No, Coley's just saying
it wasn't a wild pitch.
Okay. Yeah.
Just a pass ball.
Yeah.
And then
Reese
he did throw it to a ghost.
Fucking.
Yep.
Yeah, big time ghost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next line. I have no idea how we have a winning record. Guardians 6, Red Sox 4. They are 14-12.
Not only do they have a winning record, they should still be 18-6. Like that's probably the most insane part. Is they've still, despite being objectively bad, they've also underperformed. Like it shouldn't make sense, but it does make sense.
And just the natural injury. Like, if you did this season 10 times, this many guys aren't hurt the other 9 times. So, like, that's the injury bug's also a brutal part of this. But yeah, even just playing like idiots, you should have at least 3 more wins.
Did you guys have any other thoughts on the Masataka Yoshida thing, or?
It's not
Someone's
great.
lying.
Yeah.
Go on.
You can't say you're going to play a guy and then just be like genuinely mad at the fan base, like, or the reporters. I can't say he's mad at the fan base. He's mad at somebody.
Not happy.
There's anger involved, being like, where's this fucking story even coming from? He's definitely playing tomorrow, and then he doesn't play tomorrow. Like, it was just a bizarre thing to say. Like, he's our everyday DH, and then Devers DHs again. Like, if Devers truly couldn't go on the field today, fine with that. Obviously, he's a better bat than Yoshida, no doubt. You just can't be so ardent in being like, he's for sure playing tomorrow, just like he does every fucking day, and then he doesn't play again.
Very weird. I feel bad for the guy. Like, I do. That must be like embarrassing to, you get paid all that money, and like, I'm not going to sit here and defend Yoshida because he hasn't been great
this
and he hasn't been great for a long time. Not really.
Most of the team walks up there with a 100 average. Like, half the guys in the lineup do that. He's better than half the team.
I don't know. He's not better than. He's bad. He's been bad.
But
he hasn't been like terrible. Like, the 6 games leading up to this Guardian series, he was hitting like 300, almost 1,000 OPS in that stretch. Had 2 homers, 6 RBIs, only 4 Ks. He hasn't been great, but with some of the guys you're rolling out there, it's like, how is Masataka Yoshida not cracking the list?
He has a 102 OPS plus, which means he's league average, and that's with the dog shit start. And even in those Pittsburgh games, the one thing he was doing in those at-bats was finally elevating the ball. He had that game with the home run. He hit 4 balls that game. 3 were for hits. 1 went directly to a guy. All of them were hard and in the air. He did the same shit last year. It feels insane. And we even talked about it in the last show. You can't really say this is a Heim thing when all of the other people who were involved in that decision are still there.
Yeah, that part's tough. I have a dumb note written down on this, and it's a trend I've seen on social before, where it's like, girl, if he could, he would. Like, that's with the Red Sox. If they really want him in the lineup, you could just put him in the field. Like, it's not, they've set this up themselves where it's like, nope, he's only a DH. Sorry, nothing we can do about it. It's like, you decided that he's only a DH. If you really wanted him in the lineup, you could play him in the outfield, but you're not, because you don't really want him in the lineup.
Right.
That's just what it is.
They're also not using him as the first lefty off the bench. They've gone to Reese twice in those situations. So they're like, he's not even the next guy they would call. We saw them play. Did they play 3 catchers in a game when Heineman was up? Was it Heineman, Wong, and Reese played in that game?
Yeah, I forget exactly, but
either way, like, if you're playing that many catchers, like, there's never been an era of baseball where that was okay. Like, you can't play 3 catchers. No. That's not how this works. And Ref Snyder, during his rehab, was playing at first. I don't know how well he fared there. But, like, one of these guys, Devers, I get he's not going to be your first base in the future. That's Casas. But for this season, objectively better to have him playing first. Like, objectively, Pablo Reyes cannot be playing third base for this team.
No chance.
His last 74 games, this goes back to July 26th of last year. So 282 plate appearances. Masataka Yoshida is hitting 237 with a 622 OPS.
He had the jaw problem, Jerry.
Jared, he was tired. He wasn't used to playing that much, remember?
Just based on this season, we do not have better options. We just don't. Last season, yeah, the end of last season was bad for him. I'm not here to defend that. This season, he's been better than half the people who've played for the Red Sox.
He hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been great. I think anytime Cora gets like this snappy with the reporters, it's because they're bringing up something valid, and he just doesn't really want to talk about it. I think he's like, no, it's a good point. It's just we would feel more comfortable with Ref Snyder out there and in the lineup. And we obviously, after what Devers did in game 2, want him in the lineup, but he can't field. So, or he doesn't, he's not ready to field. The situation's not great either way. I know we had joked a couple shows ago about like, oh, it's because Yoshida's like cursing people out in Japanese in the clubhouse. And then Castillo said like he's actually not happy. Like I can't picture Masataka Yoshida's always got a smile on his face. He always seems like he's in a great mood. I can't picture him being pissed off. But this situation's as it stands right now is not great. And I don't see it just like magically getting better if he's not getting at bats.
When we talked about the vibes at the beginning of the season, they were doing that dance pregame in the dugout. I haven't seen that in weeks. But they were doing that dance, and it was largely Yoshida in the middle of it. Like, and he's coming, like, I know it wasn't the MLB, but he's played professional baseball the last 12 years of his life, and he's been one of the best in the world at it. And then he comes serious to watch these guys who suck, and he's like, I can't play over these assholes? Like, what? People keep talking about his contract like he's making $40 million. He makes what, 15? Like, we're talking
15.
about this guy like it's some albatross. Like, it's not even that. There's no objective reason. He played a completely average left field last year. I find it impossible to believe they think he's a liability out there with the rest of these assholes they trot out every day.
But sometimes from the outside looking in, it can be like, oh, there's got to be something going on there that I'm just unaware of. It's like, no, it is kind of crazy that he didn't start any of these games. Right? Like, isn't it a little bit nuts? He got 0 starts.
He 2 games removed from having 3 hits with a home run.
Like, that's kind of crazy. And he comes in to pinch hit. He gets hit by a pitch. Then today he comes in to get pitch hit and he does his thing and smashes it into the ground. Yes, it was a ball to pitch before. I get it.
Yeah, he walked again.
Yeah, and he was pissed off because he was touring Cleveland and they called him that he had to get back to the park to pinch hit. But yeah, it's at the bare minimum, it's weird. It's a weird situation and it sucks because like he should be a huge part of your lineup and he doesn't even know what role he has on the team.
I would be frustrated if I were him.
He's played in 22 games now. He's been on base with 18 hits. I'm going to give him credit for the walk today, so 12 walks, and he's been hit by a pitch. Just one? No, 3. He's been hit by 3 pitches. So he gets on base more than once per game, and a lot of these he's only gotten 1 at bat. You don't have many people getting on base at all for this team on a consistent basis. It's just, it doesn't add up at all.
And he doesn't strike out. He's still got one of the lowest K rates in the game. So it's like, yeah, don't love it.
Very odd. Very odd. And losing a series just on the road after all the we suck at home, but we win on the road stuff. Suck everywhere.
Catch the ball.
Game 1 was at least shitty weather. Like, it was raining. It was a pitcher's duel that they just lost at the end. That one, it was just like, all right, in the middle of the summer, do we lose this game? Probably not. Today, Reese McGuire catches 1 ball, they win. Like, I'm not saying they would have swept Cleveland by any stretch. That was not, I don't think the Pythagorean record came out 3-0 after this, but it felt like a 2-1 series.
It did. And we knew when it happened, too. The second that ball goes over the fence, it's like, okay, lost the series. It's a second inning. Doesn't matter. Game's over.
Yep. That's how I felt. Even when it was 5-4, I just wouldn't accept that it was a 1-run game. I was like, no, we're getting fucking smoked.
Dude, isn't that what it feels like? I'm like, this is not a 5-4 game. That score bug's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No chance.
No. Well, some beers can say that they're brewed for baseball, but only Blue Moon is brewed by baseball. Beer and baseball just go together, and no beer goes better than the one that was literally born in a ballpark. Blue Moon was created at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. It's the natural choice for opening day and all season long. We had some Blue Moons at our company outing. Shout out to Underdog last night. Blue Moons were flowing. Everyone was having a jolly old time. We were sucking those things down from its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for a subtle sweetness and hints of coriander. Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon was brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one of a kind? Its bold flavor, bright explosion of color, and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience perfect for the spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Bring the ballpark to you with Blue Moon Belgian-style wheat ale. It's a one-of-a-kind every time. Get Blue Moon delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made right or celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Suck one.
And
Stuck one.
suck one.
I had one final note from the series.
Yeah, one final note from Steve here.
All right. I know he's a friend of the program, but I've noticed the trend over the last couple of years, and I just got to call it out because it kind of drives me insane on the broadcast. Will Middlebrooks. He will read people's tweets on the air and present them as his own, and he does it all the time. Our guy JP, our guy Sox Notes, who we credit on here all the time and always have, had because I put it in my notes. I thought it was a really good nugget, really good point. The Red Sox 1.73 starting pitcher ERA is the lowest of any team through 25 games since the 68 Mets. And Will read it like it was his nugget, and it drives me nuts. And he does this a lot. He had a couple that were like way more specific, even like last season and the year before. And I'm stuck between if he knows what he's doing and is hoping he's getting away with it, or if he thinks it's okay just to like read a specific thing without crediting. Jared?
I don't know this for a fact. To give Will an out, he might be reading the game notes,
the game notes,
sheet.
The game notes.
Yeah,
that is an out. That is an out.
Yeah, I don't think he's taking it from. I would assume he's not taking it from the tweet. The game notes, they put it in the press box, so like they give them, and that's because JP works for the team.
No, true. And I've seen those sheets before too. Anytime, I was in the radio booth, I would see those. It's not always JP tweets though. Sometimes it's Red Sox stats. Sometimes it's other people on Sox Twitter. So just something I'm pointing out. If it's verbal plagiarism or not, who knows? But to your point, that is a fair out. If it's in the notes that the media people get, then I'll back off.
Could be. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But I do know that they put those big ass sheets in the.
They're huge.
Yeah, they look like bowling score sheets.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the lineup card. It's basically that size.
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Fucking Stop and Shop look ahead?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, what? The look ahead?
Oh, we gotta fucking talk more about these. So get Passan back on.
Yeah.
Come on. Paisan.
Fuck, man. I'm worn down by this team already.
What do you think their percentage chance of making the playoffs is via Fangraphs right now?
13.2.
Coley?
I was gonna say I think it might be a little higher than that, just because of where they are in relation to other teams. I'll say like 21%.
Jake?
24.3.
Jake takes the cake. 27.1. Higher than I thought. I would have guessed like 20. Yeah. But 1 out of 4, Jerry. We're doing some playoff ball. Here we go.
Oh. This team has what it takes, dude. This team, when you just look at it top to bottom,
oh yeah,
first word that comes to mind is playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Playoffs. I think that's what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna make the playoffs this year and shock the world.
Yeah, this team has what it takes, dude.
If they make the playoffs, I know you mentioned the grasshopper thing like 6 years ago. Would you do anything crazy, dude, if they make the playoffs?
I'd cut my fucking head off. If they make the playoffs this year, I'll cut my head off.
Obviously, if you're doing that, right, you got the knife. you're going to have to start feeling pain. How does one finish it off when they're like, oh my God, like this hurts so much, you know?
You'd have to like I have that sword on my stairs. Like I would have to just
chop
one swipe. Yeah. And just hope that it severs my spinal column so I don't feel it.
If it gets stuck in there, that's tough because then you got to call someone up and be like,
yeah,
all right.
you just get a sword stuck in the back of your head. You're just like, ow. The fuck? That hurts.
Then whoever has to walk in on that is like, geez, man.
Yeah, they're like, oh, God, and the carpet.
Who did this? And then you're like, me.
I did it. Sox made the playoffs. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be super annoying.
Yeah. Anyway,
the Stop and Shop look ahead. What?
Let's look ahead here.
Yeah.
The Stop and Shop look ahead. Brought to you by Stop and Shop. Head on down to Stop and Shop. Use the promo code section 10 to get 10 cents off each tangerine when you buy at least 5 pounds of tangerines. I get scared. That one dude was like threatening my life if I don't get this right moving forward.
Every time you're like, I better not mess this up.
Yeah, his post was like, that's strike 2. And you know what happens at strike 3. And I was like, I don't want to find out, my man. So it's at least 5 pounds of tangerines, 10 cents off. Use the promo code section 10. The Cubs are in town. Steve, you're not going this weekend, right?
No,
Coley.
I don't know why. There's almost zero relation, but I fucking love when we play the Cubs. Fucking love it.
Why?
I don't know. I literally started off my statement saying I don't know why.
I thought maybe it would have come to you by now.
No, there's no. It's my whole like growing up. We played them once every like 4 years, maybe. Like not even that.
Not
No.
even.
2010, I believe, was the first time in like 90 years.
Right. So even like furthering my point, like it is relatively new.
I remember the program guy being like, once in a lifetime,
this will never happen again.
Cubs sucks at Fenway. Get your scorecard, get your program, get your once in a lifetime Cubs Red Sox pin.
It does feel like there's some sort of bond between the fan bases, even if there's no overlap. Like they suffered for a long, long time for a very stupid. Listen, I'm still talking.
Cubs.
They also had to deal, Jared.
Cubs fans are like, Coley.
They don't have to deal with the Yankees like us, but they do have to deal with the Cardinals, which is close to fucking enough.
Yeah.
Jared?
Cubs fans are like, when you're in college and like that freshman year, like the girl is like she doesn't know how to do her hair and she wears glasses, but like by senior year she's figured it out and she like dyes her hair and all that. Like Cubs fans used to be the geeky girl. Like now they're like, since they won in 2016, they're like, I'm hot and I know it. So like we used to have that, hey, we suck and you suck bond, and then it's like, oh, we win a lot and you won, but like we win with Coley.
It's also the two oldest ballparks, and like it's more than just the suffering. Like there are, I do believe, layered levels to this comparison, and it feels like they appreciate, like the fan base appreciates baseball on a level that we also appreciate baseball.
Yeah. And we shared John Lester and basically like split
and Theo. Like there's common bonds. Yeah.
David Ross.
What's the stat?
And
Steve?
John Lackey. Steve?
I do wish that like one team wouldn't just be every other year. I kind of like if they still only play the Cubs once every like 8 years. Like that would be nice. Instead of like every time, like, oh, every other year you're going to play. So it's like, no, I'm actually okay if you have a couple that stay rare, because when the Sox play at Wrigley, it feels like an event. Like that actually is
They played there in
deal.
2005, I remember.
Yeah, that was the first series they ever played. All right, that's crazy, by the way. Am I reading that right? That's the first time the Red Sox ever played the Cubs? That can't be. Is that right?
Didn't they play them in the World Series?
No, I'm saying like in the regular season.
Yes, they did.
No, I mean, I thought, I was just wrong. I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
They're showing up as 05, which is...
Well, what's the stat? Something like the Cubs have played like 19 night games ever. Like it's something stupid like that. Like they got lights in like 2014.
I think when we were born, they weren't playing night games.
No, they genuinely got lights this millennium. Like I know they didn't have lights until very recently.
Yeah, it was 05. First regular season matchup.
That's crazy. I remember that. I almost like wanted to go. I mean, I was in high school, so I didn't really have a say, but that was like one of those things where like, you can't miss this. We may never see this again.
Can we go? No. All right.
Yeah. All right.
I tried. Cool.
Yeah. Yep. So, I don't know. Are you, Jake, you going to go tomorrow, this weekend at all?
I was going to go, but once David Hamilton threw the ball behind his back, I kind of don't want to go anymore.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. I'm not even joking. Like, watching the game today made me not want to go tomorrow. I was on the fence. Like, we were talking about as we were leaving the dinner last night, and I was very much like, maybe I'll go. You know, the weather is fine. Then I watched the game today. I was like, I'm not fucking going for the next month.
I'm not as like out. I don't know. I'm not saying you're out. I just
I'm not out.
He sounds out.
I'm down.
Sounds
I'm down. No, I'm down.
sounds realistic. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
that's
not
fair.
out. Out would mean that I don't care and that I won't watch. I'm down because I'm just like sad and depressed watching this fucking team.
True. It's the injuries, man. We'd be having so much more fun if these guys just didn't get hurt. Think about that, huh?
If the team was fully healthy and had the exact same record, I would feel so much better. But like, I'm watching a team that isn't supposed to be the team. So like, what do I care if they, you know, they maintain third place until June, but like all the big guns don't ever come back? And it's like, who cares? Like,
Well, we already talked about
if
it
the Red Sox won the World Series, like I wouldn't go just because David Hamilton.
Because
Like,
he went behind the back in that
again,
late April game.
way off. If David Hamilton keeps being this bad and they're in the World Series winning games, that's must-watch television. Like that's like he just boots one every 3 innings, and it's like, but the Red Sox storm back. They take the lead again. Jared.
Can I clarify what I meant? I wouldn't go to the parade. Like I wouldn't want to celebrate this roster. It's like they can win the World Series. It's like, yeah, but you shouldn't have.
No.
If he just started like the thing that solved David Hamilton, because I do got to say, the behind the back throw was right on line. If that starts being his thing, like from shortstop, he's just whipping behind the back throws, whatever could fix him. I mean, we obviously don't want to see him anymore, but just saying, it might be a way to fix him.
Yeah.
Red Sox lose 30-6.
30-6. Oh, again. Well. Oh yeah, it's time to look ahead. Cutter Crawford versus Shota Imanaga. That'll be cool. Josh Winkowski versus TBD. Good to see a TBD somewhere else. Tanner Houck versus Jordan Wicks. And that is Sunday Night Baseball, Jeff Passan. Good to see you're paying attention. Cutter Crawford. 1-0 with an 0.66 ERA and 0.99 whip and a 9.9 strikeouts per 9. The Red Sox are 2-3 in games started by Cutter, which is fucking crazy. He has a sub-1 ERA. They have a losing record when he pitches. They're 0-3 when he does not allow a single run.
That's what?
Love it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're 0-3 when he doesn't allow a single run. They're 2-0 when he allows a run.
I think he's got to start getting rocked. That's jeez,
dude, get out there and get fucking shelled, dude. If you want the Red Sox to win,
meatballs
right down the dick, brother. 27 in the third inning, 16 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 11 walks, 30 strikeouts. Has not allowed a home run.
I can't get over that they haven't won when he gives up the run.
Nothing.
That's
in his last start
crazy.
against Pittsburgh, he had a season high 16 whiffs, 4 clear of his previous high. His worst pitch has been his sweeper. Opponents hitting 212 with a 31% whiff rate. So it's still disgusting, his worst pitch. He throws his cutter 29% of the time. Opponents are 4 for 23 with 5 strikeouts. All 4 hits are singles. Imanaga, 3-0, 0.84 ERA. This is like 2 dudes with sub-1s going head-to-head.
There's Pedro Clemens.
Yeah. Yeah. The modern day Pedro versus Clemens. Imanaga, Crawford. He's only allowed 2 earned runs so far, and they came in his last outing. He's had some weird things going on with his stuff. In his 4 games, he has allowed 17, 6, 3, and 15 whiffs. He's either on or he's not. In his debut, he allowed 12 fly balls, 3 line drives, and 1 pop out. Not a single ball recorded for an out was hit on the ground. He throws mostly 4-seam split. They're both very good. He's allowing over 50% of batted balls to be hit hard. The Cubs are 4-0 in games he has started because, of course, you would win games where your best pitcher pitches really well. Josh Winkowski, having a weird year. He's given up 19 hits, and he's walked 8 guys and hit another for a total of 28 base runners in 15 innings. That's not good. He looked good in his only start, 3 1/3, 3 hits, 1 earned, 1 strikeout. Of his 5 pitches, only his slider has an average below 300 and a slug below 416. So his fastballs are not good, and he's not throwing them as hard as he was last year. They're down 1.5 miles an hour from last year. Tanner Houck, 3-2, a 1.65 ERA and 0.98 WHIP, 8.8 strikeouts per 9. He's the opposite of Crawford this year. The Red Sox are 3-2 in his starts. They're 3-0 when he doesn't allow a run, and 0-2 when he allows runs.
Wait, the other way around, right?
That's what I said.
What did you say?
He's the opposite of Cutter. The Red Sox are 3-0 when he doesn't allow a run, and 0-2 when he allows runs.
Wow. These are some good nuggets.
Yeah. Stop and shop, baby.
They just feed you these nugs.
Yeah, man.
S&S.
Yep, Stop and Shop is always cooking up them nugs. In his 3 wins, the Red Sox average over 7 runs of support for him. In his 2 losses, they average half a run of support. 0.5 runs of support. Houck is currently leading the MLB in batters faced at 130. His 0.3 home runs per 9, he's only allowed 1, and 1.4 walks per 9, 5 total, are so good that they can make me cry. This is easily the best that we've ever seen his slider, which is great because everyone kept calling him righty Chris Sale. Hitter's only hitting 154 with a 212 slug against the slider, 36% whiff rate. He has 32 strikeouts this year. 21 of them are via the slider. Jordan Wicks, not to be confused with Jordan Hicks. He's on the Giants. Mm-hmm. This is Jordan Wicks. And he sucks. Actually, he strikes out a lot of guys. He's got 11 strikeouts per 9, but he's got a 4.70 ERA. He's a lefty. He wears glasses. He has a good changeup. He's only completed 5 innings once in 5 starts, and he's given up at least 2 earned runs in every start. He's allowed at least 7 base runners in every game. Gets a good amount of whiffs. Changeup is in the 98th percentile for run value. And the Cubs are 3-2 when he starts, and 3-0 when they give him more than 2 runs of support.
Mm-hmm.
Prediction time. Damn. I got the Sox getting swept.
All right.
Yeah. I got Cutter pitching great, which means the Red Sox are going to lose. I don't know who's pitching for the Cubs in the middle game, but Winkowski is just going to be an opener, and he's given up a ton of fucking hits and walks and base runners. And then Houck versus Wicks. You know what? All right. 1 out of 3. I get them winning the finale. Yeah.
Okay.
1 out of 3. They're going to win the finale. And I don't even feel good about that just because those numbers there, they score 2 runs, they win. So, I mean, my gut says the Red Sox get swept. My heart says the Red Sox, they're going to get that last one. Steve?
I had 1 out of 3 as well. I love Cutter to keep cooking up on Friday. Very good stat you had there that when he's great, they aren't, the Red Sox lineup. He's yet to give up a run to an animal team. That was something I tracked last year. He was really good against animal teams, so I would expect he keeps that going again this year. It was cool to see him ranked in the top 10 of MLB.com's pitcher rankings, even though he should be probably higher than 7th. It was just like, yeah, he deserves to be getting this recognition right now. He's been absolutely incredible, so that was nice to see. Winkowski, I think he might get crushed. And then Tanner Houck, Sunday Night Baseball, who knows? That could be a toss-up. And I'd rather be pessimistic with the pick because I've been probably a little too optimistic with the series picks. I'd rather be surprised than let down. Red Sox 1 out of 3.
I'm going 2 out of 3 because I do think we have our 2 best pitchers on the mound going. Imanaga has been unbelievable, like Jared said. He gave up 2 runs his last outing. I think the wheels are coming right off, and we're going to be thrilled. We didn't sign this guy who obviously would have helped us. We're going to be thrilled. And so I'm picking the Crawford and Houck games. I genuinely think we have the better pitcher in those 2 matchups. That simple.
Yeah. Well, we lose when we pitch well. So
no doubt. I understand, but water's going to find its level in some way.
And we're at Fenway, where
no, I know.
we don't win.
That doesn't help. Doesn't help.
Mm.
Doesn't help. But even if they
doesn't
win,
help.
If they win 2 out of 3,
to find its level at Fenway. We got to drown Fenway.
Yeah,
Like
we
you said.
got to drown this fucking place.
They'll move to what 5-8 on the season at Fenway if they take 2 out of 3. Like that's not fucking anything to write home about.
Yeah, true.
Jake, what do you got?
I got the Cubs getting swept.
You have the Cubs getting swept.
Yep.
Oh.
He always the way Jake words stuff. You never got you on your toes.
Yeah. Yep. You never know it, Jake. Especially with serious predictions.
Yeah.
Steve?
The weather look ahead is brought to you by Billy's Gummy Bears.
You chew them with your mouth.
Friday night, 7:10 p.m. first pitch, 50 degrees around first pitch, a 0% chance of rain. It's going to feel like 43 degrees by the end of the game. Saturday, 4:10 p.m. Eastern first pitch, closing in on 60 degrees around first pitch. Very low chance of rain for that one.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like 53 by the end of that game. And then Sunday Night Baseball, 7:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 60 degrees at first pitch. The highest chance of rain is 12%, so should avoid rain in this series, maybe at worst drizzles for one of these games. And as you would predict, 8-mile-per-hour winds coming from the southwest. What was that?
I heard drizzle.
Oh, okay. It's just immediately triggered in your head. That's cool. And that'll do it for the weather look ahead, which is brought to you by Billy's Gummy Bears. Chew them with your mouth.
I need some Billy's Gummy Bears this weekend.
Big time.
Yeah, I'm down. There's no other way to say it.
You're being honest. That's fine. You're being honest about it. It's all right. It's a safe space here.
I don't fake enthusiasm. That's just how I feel. I'm sure a lot of fans can relate, and I'm sure there are some fans that are probably like, "Stop complaining." Well, that's just how I feel, man. I've been for anyone that has an issue with me complaining, I feel like you're just not as invested. If you're totally plugged in and you're living and dying with this team every single day, I don't know how you're not down. If you remove yourself and you have things called hobbies and friends and shit to do during the day, then yeah, I could see how you're not as down as me because you don't pay attention as much. That's fine. I do. So
being a fan, you're not going to be positive all the time being a fan.
No.
I don't know when that became part of the rules, but people act like if you have a dissenting opinion, you hate the team.
Celtics ruined it. Celtics ruined it.
No.
No?
What did they do?
The Celtics fans, they're just always positive, and if you're even a little bit negative, then
that's such a Jerry radio take. Like, I'm so shocked we didn't hear like 98.5's music when you said that. That's the biggest radio take you've ever said.
The Celtics fans are overly positive?
Correct. Yeah, that's not true. You saw me yesterday. Did I look fucking positive to you?
Coley was pissed most of the night. I understand why.
He was more pissed that I had ice cream at the bar.
You made that they for sure don't even serve ice cream there. You made these poor people run to like 7-Eleven and scoop it into 2 dishes.
Did they do it?
Yeah, and it looked like genuinely horrible ice cream.
The ice cream and Diet Coke combo order was definitely something. I respect it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, everyone wishes they could have a little bit of ice cream.
Cream's great. I have
Cold Diet Coke.
no qualms with cream.
I mean, neither. All right. I guess that's it from us.
Go Sox.
Yeah, we gotta
Sucks.
get the vibes going.
They can do it. This weekend, they can have these vibes different on Sunday night after Sunday Night Baseball with Jeff Passan.
Oh, fuck.
What?
Vibe City, baby. Yeah.
Because that means we're going to have to go late on Sunday.
Oh, big time.
Games are faster.
Imagine the Sox sweep, and then we're just all having so much fun Sunday night
Sunday night. Just
after
like
Sunday Night Baseball with Jeff Passan. Like, imagine that.
Sunday night with Jeff Passan.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Night game. Damn it. Fucking hate this shit. He's already pissed. The games haven't even started yet. This is so stupid.
Hey, for people at home, they only know when this episode's out. They have no idea. Like, we're all in lit rooms. That's the same set. No matter time of day, it's the same set we're all on. It is 9:33 p.m. right now, and it was a 1 o'clock start today. Like, it's never an early end.
No.
Still furious.
Oh, Jerry, your reaction to Drake May, who was drafted during this show
He was?
Oh,
by
yeah.
the Patriots. I should clarify. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, he's
You watched the tape. How do you feel about him?
You just have to trust that the system that he's going to be in now is something where he will make the adjustments and work really hard and continue to grow as a player. And, his pedigree, he comes from a long line of football players, and the mental toughness is something that a lot of people talk about as coaches in the past. And, we're going to see where it goes. I'm just glad that we took someone with the pick and didn't trade the pick for other picks,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about it?
No, Sam, I actually had the same exact thing written down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. All right. Jake's takes.
I was pretty disappointed that Tyler's suspension streak was going to end, but I should have known that the absolute king of suspensions would find a way to get it done.
Yeah.
Oh, way.
Shout out T-Dog.
Yeah.
What a battle today. Tyler won, Passan won. Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, Passan got the boot.
And he just flipped the double birds and got out of here. I love that.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you on Sunday at fucking 2:30 in the morning, I guess. Can't wait. Bye.
Buenas noches, amigos.